Oh, yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. It is the #1 podcast in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Nice.
That's a real city. Yeah. And so today on the panel is myself. I'm ElroyOMJ, and joining me is Koosh and L. But
hello.
We're old news here, man.
Goodbye.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we don't need no intro, but we do have a guy that does. We have some fresh blood on the show today. Joining us all the way from Nebraska. He likes bees, but that's none of our business. I don't know. I saw it on your page, man.
Yeah.
What's
Boy.
up, Vulgar?
Hey.
Vulgar Latin.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Pleasure to be here.
Bee, haha.
All right.
Oh.
It said something about bees.
Hey, honey.
What's the deal with the bees,
No.
man?
Love being called honey,
No?
I guess. Sorry, I
All right,
weirded out there.
Sorry, it's a southern thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from
Yeah.
Nebraska. We don't need any more corny jokes.
Nice.
And we're done.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Vulgar? What got you into this terrible hobby?
Well, into this hobby was I bought a 360 and I just had the Halo achievements and I just wanted to just get them all, I guess. It's a very Pokemon style entrance into the hobby, and I've been kind of took a break there for about 3 years, but since 2016 been at it pretty hard. Now I'm the fourth best gamer in Nebraska by weight.
Nice.
By weight.
so Halo got you into it. So what brought you back? What dragged your carcass back to this show?
My buddy had an Xbox One, and it was on sale for Amazon Prime Day, and so I just bought it. That was it. And then I had a whole bunch of games and everything, and I was like, let's get the score back. I was at like 150 when I paused, and then now I'm at like over 500,000. So that's crazy. That's a thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's the top guy in Nebraska got?
Almost 600,000. I will take him
out.
out.
Dang, you're closing in, man. He's probably hearing footsteps by now, right?
It will be mine. Oh yes.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your achievement hunting
mine.
style? Are you just score for the sake of score, or how do you do it?
I tend to go just based as much score as I can get, fast and dirty on the score. But I do go for some longer games if the mood strikes me. But yeah, and then got into the GTAS, and my buddy Ragnarok listened to you guys, so I started listening to you guys, and now here I am.
How do you feel about 400 pointers?
Yeah,
I for them in general, they're cool. I have a couple. I have Sonic the Fighters, which is
no, that's an okay one.
it's a fighting game, and it has Sonic the Hedgehog in it.
And it's an hour.
Yeah.
Well, welcome aboard, man. We appreciate you joining us today.
Oh, no problem.
So,
Can I quickly ask him what his first console was?
The first one was
Sure.
an NES that I had.
Oh, that's a good question.
In 1989, I guess, is my parents, and I played Narc on the NES.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
Oh.
that's
Throwback.
Yeah.
That's a different
Hell
four-letter
yeah,
NES game than the one Elroy knows.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I played them all though.
I played.
Yeah, we had a lot of games.
Yeah. Super Nintendo
All right.
for life.
Well-
Sorry.
Nice. All right. Well, let's see. Mr. Nate, why don't you go ahead and kick things off? Why don't you tell us a wonderful game that we should all be playing this upcoming week?
Oh, let me tell you, I have been working on the crab, and it was a glorious thing. I got, I think, 4 Vayners. So I've just been having, the best time, just getting a whole bunch of stuff done, revisiting games, and one of those games was Headlander. Now I stopped playing this game, but I like this game. I mean, it's got everything going for it. It's a Metroidvania. It's by Double Fine, and it's by what's the TV show or station?
Oh, I know what you're Adult Swim.
Yes, thank you. So it's Adult Swim is the developer and Double Fine is the publisher. So it's got everything going for it that I should like, and it's got this great style to it, like 60s, 70s style, space epic, great game. So I just had a lot of fun with it, but took a break and got distracted because shiny things happen. So I came back to it and played, picked it up, had to get 100% of the game. So I had to get like all the head upgrades, and I had to, I guess, visit every area of the map or something like that. I don't know. I just said, hey, that's right towards the end of the game. I might as well just wrap this guy up. So went ahead and did that. Yeah.
Nice pun there.
It was fun.
I saw where that one was headed, but if you like severed heads, I mean, this game is for you. I mean, that's all there is to it, really. You're just a floating head. So maybe that appeals to people. Yeah.
Some people, I'm sure.
Yeah, you sever heads and then
they land?
Take their bodies.
Oh.
You land on people's bodies?
Yeah, you land on their head and you take their bodies. So it's a really weird game. I mean, honestly, I enjoyed it.
I like heads and land, so.
Man, you might be a fan.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell us another game that you like then? I'm sure it's completely related to heads and lands.
Sure. We'll see if we can weave that together. Watch Dogs. Dogs have heads. Most of them. Some dogs have 3 heads. Mm-hmm. But
now,
I played.
What is Vulgar's name for that game?
Wait a minute. Do you mean watch_dogs?
Oh, yeah. Watch_dogs.
Respect the underscore, my dude.
It's there. I wrote it down.
Yeah,
I wrote it
Back
down.
to milk.
Yeah. I know there's an underscore. It's all, because you don't allow spaces and passwords, yo. It's an underscore. So Watch Dogs, it's about, I don't know, it's about 80 hours, 60 hours.
Ooh.
I don't know. A lot of that was drinking games.
Very quick then.
Yeah. So I have been playing this because it was on the Crab. Was it Crab? Or it might have been Freem's Challenge. I can't remember why I played this game, but I'm back in. The problem with Watch Dogs is the online. It's an Ubisoft game. You'd expect that it probably has decent server support and all that. But getting online to play Watch Dogs has been a real bear. I had no issues at first, getting on to do these invasion missions where you get matched up randomly against some other people and you have to watch them. It's kind of creepy. You watch them until the timer passes, and then you get a credit towards the achievement for doing it 10 times, I think. Then there's another one where you have to hack their phone and have them not kill you. And it's really all heavily weighted towards them. They have all the advantage here. So like you can't shoot them, you can't do anything. But if you can get them to accidentally shoot somebody, the cops show up and then they have to fight off the cops or avoid the cops. So that works pretty well. The biggest problem is getting online to do it. I had no issues the first 2 or 3 times I tried to get on, and then ever since I haven't been able to get on. So the plan is, if you can get on and you can get online and you can get into their service, basically just bang those out in one sitting if you can. And it's going to take you maybe 3 or 4 hours total if you just stick at it, because there are like a few things you have to do. You cannot boost this, so you can't do this against friends. There is one online. Yeah, there's one online achievement that you can, and that is where, do you remember what it is, Vulgar? I think it's
getting tailed. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So you can be tailed by a friend, but you can't get credit for tailing a friend.
If you purposefully let yourself get followed, they reward you.
Yes. So they let you do that. But anything where you're going against someone else and you're spying on them or you're hacking their phone, that has to be against someone random. Now, it could be a random friend. You just can't choose that friend.
Are the servers active, or is it pretty easy to set up?
Well, when they work, they're still frustratingly active. Yeah. I was trying to get some, Vulgar, did you invade me or was it someone?
I was able to invade you.
Yes, that one time.
But the way that it works is that you just randomly invade people who are playing and going about your business. So if you play Watch Dogs, occasionally it'll be like, you're being hacked, and you'll just be bewildered. But yeah, that's kind of it took me a while to get those as well. About 3 hours, I guess. You have to.
And there's a setting.
Oh.
In the options, you can turn that off. I think the default is on, but you can turn that off if you just want to not deal with that. But the pool is still pretty big. I was, trying against a whole bunch of different people, and some people are really good at that. and they just wreck you. I have 3 out of 10, and I can't get back into the servers. So
is it just one achievement, or is there multiple achievements? I think
there's 3 online achievements. 2 of them are against people that you have no control over who you're going against.
Okay.
So they can make it harder, and they tend to not let you hack them. They tend to not let you follow them around. That, I guess it takes away from their score or their experience level. I'm not sure, but they don't like it. So that's really frustrating. But yeah, other than that, the game's been kind of fun. It's a little bit grindy. There's another achievement for drinking games. So you have to do these, you have to go against 3 different people, and you have to build up to level 10. So every one you unlocks the next level. So you get 1 through 10, then you go to the next guy, and then 1 through 10, the next guy, 1 through 10. And they're basically little puzzles where you're trying to match keystrokes or keep the sticks inside of a little area, and sometimes the area moves. So it wasn't horrible. I was expecting it to be really bad, and when it first came out, it was very difficult, and then they patched it. So it wasn't as bad as I remembered. It just takes time. And it's a fun game. It's a fun Ubisoft, but with some annoyances.
What is it with that game? Like, no one ever plays it, and then all of a sudden I see you playing it, and Vulgar, and Mattism, and I saw Isrit just got the completion in it, so way to go, Isrit.
I think people just
right place, right time.
Yeah, I think because people are doing it, we want to get it done.
You see other people playing it, and then it's like,
the hope was that we could get enough people that we knew online at the same time so that our chances of randomly getting a friend were higher. But it never really worked out that way because some of us could get on, some of us couldn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw he was on.
I guess it's...
Did it.
What, Vulgar?
I just saw that he was on, and he was asking about it, and I was like, I have that game. And I think it was a Games with Gold, so a lot of people just have it, so...
Yeah, I have it. I don't ever played it. I don't know. Let's see. Mr. Vulgar, you got a game for us that we should be playing instead?
Oh, well, yeah. I've been playing the Hotline Miami collection that just came out earlier this week. And it's Hotline Miami 1 and 2, which I actually already owned on PC. But they are really addicting. So it's kind of like a twin-stick shooter. It's set in the 80s. It has this pixel art style to it, but it's a very violent game. Basically, you're this guy. They call him Jacket, and every day he wakes up, he listens to his answering machine where he gets cryptic jobs. He goes to the place, like they'll be like, "Oh, hey, we want you to DJ at this place. It's whatever the heck," and Vine, and you hop in your DeLorean and you proceed to murder everybody in the room with like baseball bats and all that. But yeah, you get there's like different masks and things to unlock, and then the sequel is also in there, and I've played that too. It's not as good, but it's still a lot of fun, and all of it's done in this sort of like techno or dance kind of music that has like a real driving beat. So you can just go. It's a game that's like one hit death. So if you get hit with anything, you die, but you start right back up. So it's very like Meat Boy style. And you're listening to these like thumping dance tunes, and it really just gets you amped. It's something.
I was just looking at the achievement list, and it looks like they're all written in caps. Is that just kind of jive with the style of the game? It's very loud in your face.
Yeah,
kind of
I don't know why it's all in caps, and it also seems like it'd be one of those things that's like, oh man, this would be really super grindy. Because some of them are like kill 1989 bad guys and die 1,000 times. But what I'll tell you is I've played for about 3 hours, and I've already killed about 2,000 people because it counts every attempt. And I've died almost 600 times in that 3 hour span.
There's an achievement called HM1 Dog Lover, and for Dog Lover, you get it for killing 99 dogs. Have you become a dog lover?
Oh yeah, I have. I'm a friend of the animals.
Like yeah, you've killed 99 dogs. Got the dog lover achievement.
Yeah,
shoot, that's awesome.
How old are the original games?
Hotline Miami 1 came out in 2012, and 2 was 2015. So really, just
that's pretty recent.
Rapid fire porting time to get to the Xbox.
Stylistically looks old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the aesthetic is kind of the match that whole 80s thing.
Did GTA 1 and 2 look like this, or is that
They looked a little bit better, I thought, because they had it was a little bit
The
more
same
drawn.
top-down type thing?
Yeah, they had a drawn aesthetic, but I think GTA 1 and 2 is less of a shooter in the same way that this one. I guess I would call it I would call Hotline Miami a twin-stick shooter. The biggest problem with it, though, and this is something if you play it, you'll encounter, especially in 2, is that the camera is too zoomed in. So in 2, you'll be like on a big boat, and you'll just randomly get shot. Because as soon as the enemy sees you from anywhere, they will attack, and if they hit you, you die. So you'll play 2, and it'll be like on a boat, and there'll just be a sniper, and you'll just die. And then but you can start right back up again, so you never feel like you're. I mean, it never feels defeating in anything, but that's it. It's going to be a tough completion, but I'm interested in trying to get it.
Did you ever play Mr. Shifty?
I have not played that.
Okay, because
Waka just finished that one.
Yeah, it's similar. I think that's where they took their inspiration from. Although it's buggy, it's like it doesn't perform as well. But I think Waka said it performs better on the X. So
Jay.
Yeah, I mean, Hotline Miami's rocking a 4.0 ratio. I mean, it's not easy.
It's going to be the A+ing all of the levels is going to be like the hard one, because you have to play a lot more aggressive and you have to be fast and probably use the right masks, because that's the other thing. You have animal masks and each one has a different ability. So like there's Tony the tiger, and lets you punch and you can kill people with your bare hands, and one that makes dogs not attack you. So there's a lot of strategy in getting the masks, and there's hidden masks that you can find as well.
Oh man, what other kind of animals we talking here? You got my interest there.
There is, I know there is a cobra named Jake. I got a unicorn, a horse. The default one's a chicken. That's what you'll see on the cover is the chicken mask.
Yeah, I saw the chicken,
and
I didn't really see the jacket though.
Yeah, it's what else we got? I think I got a walrus, like just a bunch of. Yeah.
You were the walrus.
Cuckoo. Yeah.
I see. All right. Well, what about anything else you play this week?
Yeah, man. I've played.
Which else you got?
Got some Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, which I got because I was trying to complete High Road Vatu's name, and it was the only Y game I had started. So I went through and tried to do a little bit more on that. For anyone that doesn't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a children's animated show. It was on like the CW. And this goes through all of the different Yu-Gi-Oh! TV shows, and you play through all of the different it's a card battling game, kind of like Magic but worse. And you go through all the battles. I've got it down to a science though. I've made a really cheesy deck, and it's helped me get through that in a much bigger way.
Is it like a card game?
Yeah, it is a card game. It is like Magic the Gathering. And what I don't like about it, I guess, is the fact that I'm not too I liked the TV show when I was a kid, which is why I bought it, but I didn't play the actual honest card game, which you can go out and buy, at a board game store or whatever.
Oh man, Foof is off this week, and you talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! I thought we would have a.
No.
Sounds dreadful.
There would be some adults here today.
It's not terrible. The problem is just it goes really fast, and so things will just happen, and like the bad guy will just and I play this, and I play this, and I play this, and you died, and they just what? I legit one time I was playing the game, and I looked down to text my girlfriend, and the enemy had killed me from full health, and I had no idea what they did, or how they did it, or what even happened, and I was very confused. But
they probably played that one card and then that other card, and
activated his trap card and believed in the heart of the cards, and it's going to be a hard one too, because you have to do what's called the reverse. So you have to play the mirror matches. So once you beat someone first, to get the full completion, you have to go back and play all of them from the other side, which just basically means that you have to beat up Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. Or Yugi, I guess is his name. But yeah, it's something, man.
That sounds so tough.
It is. it's kind of grindy, but I went through the walkthrough. The walkthrough has a deck that you can grind out all the cards for, and if you play it, basically the way that it works is that if I have these specific 5 cards in my hand, I win, no matter what. And that's the entire basis of the deck, is that I just draw a whole bunch of cards and wait and just stall as much as humanly possible until I get those 5 cards. And then I have defeated the bad guy, which is as thrilling as you'd think. But yeah, it's.
I mean, it just had me on the edge of my seat here. Man. Sounds so great.
Yeah, I know. You guys were just like, "Hey, Devin, tell us more about Yu-Gi-Oh!" That's what we wanted. Yeah. This is high quality entertainment, my dudes.
Did you play anything that more than 5 people might be interested in, other than Yu-Gi-Oh?
Well,
Who are these 5 people?
No, I was rounding up to the Foof, and like then he had like 4 people that live with him or something.
That is true. True.
There's gonna be so many angry people. I bet they're gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, Vulgar.
By my count, 4 more. Yeah.
Yeah. We will get an accurate census of who likes Yu-Gi-Oh.
Vulgar, you're on the right side of history here. Don't worry.
Yeah. Just play Magic the Gathering instead if you want to play a good card game. There's a lot of them.
Or just don't play either. Just don't play any card games. There's always that.
I love card games. I love card games. Oh, man. But then the last thing I played was Ultimate Chicken Horse. Everyone should buy Ultimate Chicken Horse. It is the best. I love it. And I'm not saying that because it's the best. I'm the best at it. It's like the only competitive game that I'm legit great at.
I mean, that was actually in the news recently. I think the NBA is going to be trying this. They're going to be playing Ultimate Chicken Horse in lieu of their season, kind of a thing.
Yeah, an empty to no fans. Which
for
some people like the Atlanta Hawks is just Tuesday for them.
Or the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. I don't know basketball. Squeak shoes.
Yeah. So tell us about Chicken Horse. What's up with that one? Why should everybody buy it?
So Ultimate Chicken Horse is a competitive platforming game. So imagine if like a Mario Maker, where you build your own kind of stage. You have to get to the end. So each stage there'll be like a theme to it. Like one's just a giant windmill. You have to get to the flag. Each round, each competitor picks a specific thing out of the party box, and they use that to build up different traps and things so that they can complete the level, but you want to complete it and be the only one to complete it so you get the points and hit people with traps and stuff. So it's, as a party game, just hilarious fun because there's an element of cooperation because you can't make it impossible, because if it's impossible, no one will get any points. But you have to make it so that just you can make it through, and adding those traps and making it very devious makes it just... I gave it away for the WrestleMania predictions because it was on sale. And if you're a time traveler and would like to get it, it's $10 at the time of this recording. Hop in your DeLorean and take advantage of that $5 worth of savings.
Wait, put on your jacket first.
Yeah.
So you gotta get up, put on your jacket, and then go.
And buy a Gray's Sports Almanac so that you can bet on everything. And then you can turn into a casino owner, and then you can buy Ultimate Chicken Horse and save $5. This is very important. But I've bought this for a lot of people recently because I recently got some wine, and so I drank the wine, and then I was just like, yeah, man, you can get Ultimate Chicken Horse, and you. So
turn into Oprah.
Dark Lord has it now. Death Dealers has it now.
The chicken horse Oprah.
Yeah,
I love it. Nice one. That was good.
Yeah, if you find me and you get me into agreeable enough state, I will buy you Ultimate Chicken Horse. Probably. I don't know.
Buy one as a gift now and save it for a rainy day.
Yeah, I could. If you can find it, you too.
Now, if you don't have a party, is this game going to be fun solo or?
This game's going to be not very. You can play it local if you have enough controllers.
You can,
but you can't. There's no bots, so it's best to play it with 4 people. And if you can't find anybody online to play it, and it's within like 5 to 10 o'clock on a weeknight, Central Time, I will play Ultimate Chicken Horse with you. I love Ultimate Chicken Horse.
I'm getting that sense, yes.
Koosh, to answer your question, if you play it solo, you can get comfortably about 685 of the 1600 gamer score in the game. Oh. That's what I did. And I'm pretty sure I exhausted as much as you could do with local. So there you go.
The only thing I'm missing is what's called comeback points. So if you're behind, they give you extra points if you make it to the end. And truthfully, I've never been in a scenario where that would have applied, where I could have got comeback points.
Did you say 1600 gamer score?
Yeah, I just read that wrong. I thought there was some DLC. It's 1,000. Yeah. Huh. I don't know what the hell that guy was talking about. Yeah, but it does have raccoons in it, so there you go.
And chameleons.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Elroy, I assume your bedtime is later than usual now. So you
see what had happened. Well, what had happened was I looked at my TA for it, and I thought that I read that was the 685 out of 1600. No, that wasn't it. Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah,
Elroy.
that was fail. Oh me. Yes.
I assume you're going to bed later now, since you're not teaching. So you have no excuses anymore. Hawken was like 2 years ago? You need to get in a party with us and play some party games, and we'll get you some achievements.
Man, I can't.
Yeah.
I would say I can't do much. Well, actually, today I was in a party with Koosh. Yeah. Koosh and I were in a party just today. So if it serves my G-Task overlords, if it serves the G-Task overlords, then I will do it until, but once June hits, maybe. Why not? So
June?
I'll be out of that. Yeah, well, in the contest over in May, I don't know, whenever the hell it is, but yeah. So if we were to play some wonderful games, what might I be playing? What is on your list, Mr. L?
I was talking about Ultimate Chicken Horse.
I'm sure it's co-op.
But that's what I meant.
I already got 685 of the 1600 gamer score on that. So.
You got to get the rest of it.
I got to get the other 900.
All right, well. Rumor has it that
you've been playing.
Rumor has it that Prue, Michelle, Foof, and I are still talking about Borderlands 2 since last week. But
it's floating somewhere over the horizon. I'm not sure.
But on Thursday, we started Halo Reach on the Halo Master Chief Collection. We did the first stage, the Winter Contingency, or something like that. And so what you do in that game is basically you wind up doing the same stages over and over because what you want to do is you need to do it in par time, which is best done on easy difficulty, and then there's par score, which is best done on a harder difficulty. And so we wound up doing it first just to do it on legendary difficulty, which is the hardest one, and right off the bat there's an invisible elite that you have to kill, and we struggled with that for a good 10-15 minutes, so we had to keep reloading the checkpoint, but we eventually got that one, and that pops for everyone, thankfully. And then we went through the level, beat it on legendary, and then we did par time on easy, and then we knew the level, so we were able to get the par score. There's also these collectibles to get, the data pads, and you can only do that on legendary, so we got those done. And then there's some other odds and ends. There's one for killing 7 moas, I think they're called. They're little emu deer things. You have to kill 7 of those. Unfortunately, those are individual achievements, so if one person gets the 7 kills, not everyone gets it. So it's a little weird which things count for some individually and which count for everyone. But
is there enough of those guys to go around where everyone gets to kill that man?
You do the level over and over, or you could just put it on. You could just put it on easy and do it yourself and get it done.
So why'd y'all choose this one first? Is it the first in the series? I mean, literally, I know nothing about Halo.
Most of us had already done Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4, and ODST, because Reach is a more recent addition to Master Chief Collection. So,
okay.
We hadn't, and it's 4 players also. So,
not all of them are.
1 and 2 are only 2 players. The rest are 4 players.
Oh, okay.
Which makes a huge difference because the more the merrier. If one person dies, no big deal.
What else you got?
So the next game I'm going to talk about is Realm Royale. So unlike Halo, which I have 3 people carry me, in Realm Royale I have enlisted 5 people to carry me.
And he is heavy.
Well, it's the quarantine, man. I hadn't had a chance to go out into the gyms and all.
This was a game that showed up on my crab to get 100 forges, and I got Michelle and her brother to play with me, and then Vulgar offered to help, and Death Dealers and Dark Lord Davis have been playing, so the 6 of us have been playing together, and it is a lot of fun. I've never played a Battle Royale game before this game, and the good thing about this game is that it's not very heavily populated. You could turn off crossplay and search on the Asia servers, and it will be populated with mostly bots, and they are a lot easier to kill than people would be. So the achievement list has things like the aforementioned 100 forges, and then you have to get kills with each of the 4 classes, 50 kills with each class, and that's what I have left. The hardest one to do was killing 11 players in a single match and getting the 10 Crown Royales, which is basically winning the whole game. But you could do a squad of 4, or if you had 6 people, we did 3 duos. So we were able to basically team together and kill all the bots together and everyone else. And then when the 6 of us were left, we could just take turns killing each other. So we had a system.
Well,
we had some fun.
Well, last week y'all talked about Bleeding Edge and how great that achievement list was with for a game like that. So is Realm Royale kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, or what's it?
I like the list. It's the game's free, by the way, and you can buy things like cosmetic stuff. So nothing that'll help you in the game, as far as I know. TA estimates it at 12 to 15 hours. That sounds about right. If you have some help, it's worth a pretty healthy 2,300 TA. Vulgar. Go ahead, Vulgar.
Yeah, it took me about 16 to complete it. I would like to say that Ell was being charitable when he said I offered to help. More like I was coerced into helping.
Well, you need to not mention. You need to not mention that you had wine, and that's it.
So Ell got boosted, and he got a free copy of Chicken Rice. Right. That's amazing.
Yeah. He did, yeah. I'm a great boosting partner.
That sounds like
there was one night where he was in party, and I said, "Oh, let's boot this up," and then we also booted up the delivery service game. So we were just playing some 4-player games and having a good time. Just friends having fun.
That's cool.
Yep. Just 4 friends having
fun. But I like Realm Royale. And congrats on the completion, Vulgar, even though you didn't wait for us to all complete it together like a jerk. But thank you.
Well, I'm helping you complete it now, even though you do things like jump into the water.
Jump into the water, fall asleep, miss the countdown to get in, screw it up for everyone, and then blame you guys. Yeah, this is typical Ell stuff.
Yeah, like just being coerced into helping and then being berated. And
oh, wow, beration. Nice.
So to mention one other thing I've been doing this week that's not achievement related, but Koosh will hopefully be excited. I have been playing Super Metroid with my son.
Ooh, yeah.
And
hey, that's awesome. That's a game.
It is a game, yes. So one of the best things about the Switch is the ability to play Super Nintendo games. So yeah, we've been playing Super Metroid and going through. It's not easy. And some stuff I remembered from a long time ago, and some stuff I haven't. But we haven't used the guide yet. So we haven't gotten too lost. But that's a lot of fun, and just having kids that game is just fun. You had a question?
Now, does he actually appreciate it for what it is? I mean, that's like...
Yeah, we actually did the first Metroid a year or two ago. We did that on the Pi. And on the Pi, you can put in cheat codes. And I think we put in, like, infinite energy, and it was still just... First Metroid's hard. There's no map, and it's just hard. Super Metroid, yeah, he appreciates it for what it is.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I think... the next thing we're going to do after that is getting this Kingdom Hearts on the road here. We all watch Disney Plus movies basically every night now, especially these days. We have nothing but time. Watch a lot of Disney movies.
Right.
And so we can maybe watch the movie and then play Kingdom Hearts And yeah, good times.
All right. Well, I got plenty of time to play games as well. I'm not in school, so I've been...
Tell us.
Actually, I'm... Now, normally I would have a series of games you've probably never heard of that I've been playing and just, getting the gamer score and moving on to the next one. But there's a certain individual in this panel that challenged me to a certain contest of a TA ratio. Yeah, and it's really it's really crimping my style, man. You're killing me here. You're killing me, man. So the only easy gamer score I've gotten this month was Surviving Mars, which had a high ratio at the time. That was back when everyone grabbed their pitchforks and everyone grabbed a pitchfork and wanted to burn me at the stake and all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Yeah, awesome. And but now it's a lowly. I wish I hadn't even done it because it's actually lowering my monthly ratio underneath a 3. I think I'm right under a 3. But anyway, so that doesn't really count. So the only thing I've really been playing is high TA stuff. So one of the examples was Overlord, Fellowship of Evil. Have y'all played that one? Anybody?
That's like the evil Pikmin, right?
It's kind of like, well, I used to know one, and it was called like Dungeon Lord or something like that. I think it was, I forget, or Dungeon Keeper or something like that. I forget what it was called. It's an old PC game, but it's kind of like that where you're playing the bad guy and you're destroying good. So this was my Easter Sunday. I booted this game up. I don't know why, and I hadn't finished it, and there's a couple of high ratio stuff in there, and so got. Finished that one. Basically, I killed the unicorn at the end. Spoiler alert. And that ends the game, and there you go. So I have defeated good, and evil has prevailed. It found a way, and I have several achievements that are preloaded for further purposes. And so it was a success. And then, other than that, I've been playing Killer Instinct and Lonely Mountains and Train Simulator 2020, all these wonderful high ratio games. Thank you, Koosh. And so all these have, at least 3.0 ratios or higher. I mean, it's just been a never ending series of that. But one that I recently started was Smoke and Sacrifice. Have y'all talked about that game on this podcast?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Well, on my friend feed, the only person that looked like they finished it was Prue. But it's a good entry for G-Test purposes. It's got 3.7 ratio. The achievements are not overly difficult because it's got a nice walkthrough. The walkthrough is pretty good. I think the guy might have a little problem with East and West, kind of like that. What was that game? That silly game you brought up the other week, Koosh. That one, I can't think of the name of it now. Yeah, but that one, where East and West, they all mix up. And Soul Axiom, that's it. God. And it just came to me, I don't know. And so, but yeah, there's a couple instances of that where East and West don't quite line up. So you get a little confused, but you can still figure it out. It's nothing too crazy. But I got the opportunity to milk a ghost.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so you get a milker, and so you use the milker on like a hog. So you milk a hog, and then you get hog's milk. I mean, that's usually what you get out of a hog when you milk it. And so while you're milking a hog, I don't know, but whatever. And so you milk the hog, and you get hog's milk. And so I guess they just wanted to use this contraption, the milker. It's part of the game. You have this contraption. It's a milker. So the enemy has to stun. You have to have a stunned enemy, and then you milk it. It made me think of Meet
the Parents.
Meet the Parents, yeah. And so apparently there's this ghost that attacks you, and it has nipples, I guess, because you sure milk it, because you throw a stun grenade in it, and then you milk a frozen white liquid out of it. The ghost is white. I'm just saying. So if you want to milk a ghost, Smoke and Sacrifice might be the game for you. Yes, I'm serious. What? Yes.
Are you sure you were milking it?
Oh yeah. The pixels are a little grainy, especially during this one. It's called Smoke Time. So. And the ghosts only appear during smoke time. So it's one of the game mechanics is that every well, half the game you play in this annoying smoke that's annoying. Did I mention the smoke is annoying? It's like obscures your view and everything. So what happens in the smoke stays in the smoke, Vulgar.
Like Las Vegas.
So it, yes, very much so. And I definitely milked the ghost in Vegas. And so there you go.
There's your title.
We've all been there.
There's your title, Milking Ghosts in Vegas. Oh man, but yeah, so Smoke and Sacrifice, it's pretty doable. I think I'm about 2/3 way through the game, and so I'm gonna stop when I get to the last 2 achievements because they're a little top heavy or back heavy, and so I'm gonna preload those, and I'm trying to work on my preload game. So there you go. That's what I've been playing.
Well, just to help you out, I also did Surviving Mars, so we both have the same handicap.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I was so happy when I pulled up I was like, oh god, what is
All
Koosh
right.
is that? And I saw that you had popped all those Surviving Mars achievements, not just in Xbox, but also in Win 10.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, at least I didn't do both. And so I was like, oh man, that's gonna be hard to come over. Man, yeah.
Once you pop one, you just can't stop. You just gotta go.
You can
go.
You can call
All
me
right.
Quaid
Milked
because
it,
I
man.
survived Mars twice.
All right. My pitchforks are
Yeah.
coming out right now.
Okay,
What is
yeah,
going on
sure,
with
go
you
for it.
people? Do you not like games anymore? You just like the bleep loops and that's it? Imaginary points? What's going on with you people?
Surviving Mars? I
mean,
mean,
the game is on
I
Game
don't
Pass.
like that game.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Mm-hmm.
the DLC costs moolah.
I haven't bought the DLC.
Yeah,
I
didn't buy the
have-
DLC.
Me neither, man.
Over 30 friends on my friend feed that have the full completion with the DLC. So, they're racking
Bully
in the
for
money,
them.
man. What is it, Paradox? Is that what it is?
Yep.
They're supporting.
Somebody's.
Don't you say something about supporting the devs? Eh? So,
Support the devs
We
for
like,
the-
we like games.
Maybe
Both
they
those
did it.
doctors
Maybe,
Yeah,
are
so
making
they-
money.
maybe they're going to do this on purpose from now on.
So, maybe. So all right. So basically, what their crime is that they're less subtle than Ratalaika. Is that what you're telling me?
Slightly less subtle, yes. With the Ratalaika, you at least hold the controller in your hand and you press some buttons and you play the game.
And you push.
There-
Yeah.
There's someone out there that's like honestly put in the time, the 100 or so odd hours to
Oh, God.
really do this, really do it right, and then just one random Tuesday, it just all came crashing down.
Oh man, I'd be so super pissed if that was me. I would be the saltiest guy, man. I would have been like, I actually played a game and I actually put 100 hours into this freaking game. So for example, like Dead Rising 3, that's a game I really liked and played forever. If someone came out with that for that, oh my God, I'd be so pissed.
Why? You got to play
Oh,
the
man.
game. Why would you be pissed? The
Because-
games are to be played, Elroy. Games are to be played.
Are they?
But
yes. I mean, if
but the
it
gamer
cut
score
down on a grind, then sure. But if you
No,
actually played
no.
and enjoyed those 100 hours,
No,
then
what
you should not be upset.
But then, like, the achievements just, it's actually one of my top games. Like, it's in my, I don't know, top 15 games, and all this and that. And then it just gets, obliterated TA-wise. And I don't know, especially if it's in the middle of a contest, it'd be like, oh man, one of my favorite games, and it's during the contest. So it's screwing me over twice. So that's awesome. So, yeah, But I don't know if anybody really likes Surviving Mars, but maybe they do.
Well,
I don't know.
I saw
Fufu's
plenty
the
of
type to
people
like it.
saying that you all missed a good game. I saw plenty of people say that.
I can
played
always
a-
go back
Yeah,
and
there's
play
plenty
it.
others.
I
You
played a
won't.
lot
There's
of them,
there's plenty
so,
others.
You're full of shit. You ain't going to play it. None of you are going to play
I
it.
said could. Didn't say would.
You know,
Difference.
Yeah, they.
I could come back there, and there's DLC that I could rapidly get all of the achievements in. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to go back to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wait
it's
a minute.
true.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, they might issue new DLC.
Exactly.
Who
I
knows?
might just
So-
randomly get money from the government for no reason and then use it to buy DLC for games. Stimulating the economy.
or buy more chicken horses.
Yeah, or buy Ultimate Chicken Horse 1,600 times or 160 times.
For everybody in the
Yeah,
community.
I mean,
There you go.
Everybody look
it's just-
everybody
You heard
look
it
under
here.
your seat. Look under your seat. You get it.
oh, it
Okay,
is.
so-
It is an interesting topic because there's definitely many things we've done to avoid playing games. Especially two people on this panel that will remain nameless. Elroy
Hey, you
and
played
Koosh.
Avatar. I don't want to hear it.
Yes, I played
Oh,
it.
played
I
Avatar.
played Avatar. Yes, I button
So
mashed.
how did you like the Subnautica completion? Did you really appreciate
that took me like an hour and a half. I suck.
Well, you say you mash buttons for Avatar. Well, you mash buttons in order to download the mod, or you would, and then you would mash buttons in order to exit out of the menu, and then I mean it's just less button mashes.
If you think about it,
but
I'm going to have survival game and you turn it into a point and click.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I like that. I like that. Is it listed on the point?
It should be.
I just consider it a 100% achievement run through speedrun, and
it is
fantastic.
I was playing for speed.
Jeez, you guys, terrible. I did see.
All right, well,
Stop it, Elroy. I am not letting you off the hook with this. I got other points to make here. We got. I think some other points that people came up with were people were rating the game on TA with a low score out of 5 because of this, without playing the game, which is just asinine. And then the other thing is that they were giving the estimated time 0 to 1, which also messes with things. So, how do you guys feel about that?
You don't need, if you didn't actually play the game, like with an honest attempt, you shouldn't rate it. That's how I feel about it. If you're gonna go do that, you don't have to rate every single game.
Some people do. They have to rate every game on their tag.
You know, some people also cut lines. That doesn't make them right.
Oh man, I like it. Yeah, that's true. Those people cut line, they're the worst, man. Yeah,
the worst are when you hold the door open for someone and they don't say thank you. Those are the worst people.
Oh,
I would say you're welcome. Ooh, that clip. Sorry, Foo.
Yeah, I think the rating, if you've only done the cheat, is dumb. You shouldn't be doing that. But, and also, should you accept a game estimate of 0 to 1 hour for anything that's over $5? I mean, I just don't think that should even register.
Hey, if
it's $15,
if you don't do research, I guess it's your own fault, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, why are you upset about this? Like, what is it?
Not
who
really
cares
upset
if
about
it's
that.
rated 0 to 1 hour?
You're
So
looking
what?
for a quick game to play.
People want to.
That's
and
then the mod can go.
So many other
the mod
games
can go away at any time, also, right? Theoretically, I think it was down when someone needed it this morning. Talk about that later.
Someone, eh?
Yeah, someone.
All right.
Also on this panel?
Foreshadowing.
Now, did you have any other points on this, Mr. L? Are you good with this?
Yeah, I'm probably going to do this at some point too. Anyway, go.
Okay.
Episode 91.
All right. Well, we can move on then. All right.
No. What?
Yeah. Get those pitchforks sharpened up. So,
baby.
Does anybody have any announcements or epiphanies for the week? I just had one, but I'll let y'all go first because I'm polite like that. Okay. All right. So I had a nice epiphany. I had that the train guy, like, you know, growing up, you always thought that train guy was kind of weird, like the guy that collected trains and did the little train thing. I always thought that was kind of weird, but now I actually appreciate it because I've been playing with trains on my Xbox for so many hours now that I can actually recognize trains. And so the other day I heard a train whistle off in the distance, and I thought, well, is that the DB66 model over there? Because I just recently had an achievement with that. And so I haven't gone full train guy yet, but I can appreciate them for what they do. So train guy, I'm sorry for judging you all those years. And everyone should go download Train Sim 2020 and put it on your tag. Just sound. Okay, so as far as discussion-wise, Rocker, he told me that to just skip the rat race for the week, which I would have nothing to add to it because honestly, I don't even know what the name of the game was because of freaking KooshMoose because I have not played any Easy Gamer Score. So
it was that Rover game, right? The one that's kind of like Enter the Gungeon,
no idea,
but a little worse. That's like how a lot of Ratalaika games are. It's like this, but worse.
I'm suffering with you too, Elroy. Like, I see all these games come in, and I'm like, oh, I want to review it, but no.
You did this.
I did this. Yes, it was all my idea.
Why couldn't you play, Koosh?
So,
because I'm trying to compete. We're both trying.
He's the one that challenged me.
We're going for the highest TA.
Oh, right, that.
The highest ratio. Ratio.
Oh.
Did you miss that part? We literally just talked about that.
Yes, I missed it. That's kind of my thing that I do now on here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Rush Rover, by the way.
But Rocker, he'll be back to talk about that at some point.
That's his
he'll get
department.
everything. Yeah, he'll get everything sorted out. So sorry, we're a little light on Ratalaika talk this week, but we'll I'm sure he'll double down on it next week or so. So I had one nice little discussion for you. It is preloading. I don't know. You probably heard me say that at least twice. So I have a vested interest in this because there's members in this community that think that they've already won the GTAS thing, and they're not afraid to tell you about it. Is they big time you and say, yeah, who are you? And so maybe I just need a couple suggestions on games to preload. So I was going to ask this wonderful panel, do you have any wonderful experiences in preloading? And if so, what for? Why did you preload? Like, why did you not pop it immediately? Like, if I wasn't part of this contest, I would never preload. And most importantly, what game was it? I'm taking notes. So anybody, go ahead.
I preloaded something once, but I don't think this will be something you would play. It is a wrestling game called Rumble Roses XX.
Oh,
and
man.
It is something like a 200-hour completion. But there was something you could use a turbo controller and then do a lot of it while you sleep. So that
no, I do.
Yeah, you can.
I'm interested now.
Win matches or play matches with button mashing while you sleep, but you're gonna have to win some on your own. And the final achievement is basically for purchasing all the shop items, which is worth 250 gamer score and 1230 TA. And the reason I did this was for G-Task 2013. So I'm looking back.
Okay. So this contest.
That's when I did it.
That's when
I did it. Yes. And
it's been impacting lives since then. Oh, crazy.
And
it comes around every year like a virus.
Yeah, and in typical L fashion, I preloaded it improperly, and I bought what I thought was all the stuff, and it didn't pop, and I had to go back and do a couple of other things. And yeah, but that's when I remember preloading. I do preload things. Like right now in Realm Royale, I have one of my characters preloaded to 98%. It's just for two reasons. One, I'm crazy and like to beat the game with everyone else. But the second reason is I like to preload stuff is just in case for the next day, if I need a streak preserver, I could do things like that. Yeah.
What's the count up to? Like 8 years yet?
Christmas 2012. So yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
right.
What's that? 7.5.
Now, when you popped it, when you eventually pop it, does it still have meaning towards you, or is it like, well, I played this game like
the Realm Royale,
freaking forever ago, and so
yeah,
you cease to care about it at some point.
There's just so many games that once you complete a game, you cease caring, and you just go on to the next thing. That there's no reflection anymore. No reflection.
You sound like such an old man
so
today.
Bitter.
I'm old man yells at cloud.
Yeah, speaking of cloud, that's the FF7. Damn it.
Koosh, have you done preloading? Is that something you do?
Oh, are you asking me this as a competitor or?
Oh, she wants strategy.
Maybe. Maybe.
So I have been known to preload a little bit, but I'm not like a skeptical Mario level preloader. That guy, guy is insane. I'm more of what you call a sandbagger. So for short-term type contests, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I might get really close to the goal line and let people think maybe I fell asleep at the wheel, and then kind of come from behind at the end. Sometimes I like to save things because, well, there was a time when I was doing contests and wasn't ineligible for them. So I would hold on to games that had, started with certain letters or achievements that started with certain letters. And I would get them pretty close. So if I ever needed them, I could pop them. And then I could also see people preloading specific achievements for milestones. So, you kind of dog ear this one for, this is my 500 or this is my whatever, my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could pop them at that point. But right now, I don't really have a whole lot preloaded at all. Some games I like to keep and just chip away at. I don't know if you call that preloading or not. Just kind of banking those away. Like Monkey Pirates comes to mind. I have like 2 achievements left in that I know are just a little bit grindy, but I could always pop them if I needed them. So yeah, I'm not a big preloader, but I'm definitely a sandbagger.
Well, you should know that the preloading will work in your favor in the sense that you may have a competitor that is not going to pop certain high ratio ones until May. So fortune smiles on you. But what about you, Vulgar? You dabble in the preloading arts?
I used to. So I used to be much more into like milestones, and that's when I did it. The one that comes to mind was the achievement I got to get to my first 100,000. And it was called A Monument to All Your Sins, and it's a Halo Reach.
Infamous.
And you have to beat Halo Reach on Legendary by yourself. And so what I did, the last level in Halo Reach, spoilers to a 10-year-old game, you die. So you can't actually win the level. So I got all the way up to that level, and then when I got close so that I could hit the 100,000 with that achievement, I just loaded that up and I got it. And then really it's more like accidental preloading. So like I'll just be like, oh man, get all these achievements, and then something else new and shiny will come by, and then I'll play that, and then I'll look back and I'll be like, oh, I have all these achievements I could have just got if I would have taken the hour out of my day. So
all right. So you had nothing for the in the reserves for the tournament, the G-Test thing?
I was just happy to make it to week 10, and we were like,
yeah, I made far, man. Made far.
We were just sitting there like, oh man, the wheels are gonna fall off of this eventually. We didn't think we were gonna get any. We were just happy to be there most of the time.
Did you get your participation rate?
Legend out.
We did. We were top 40. That's good enough for a song, so it was good enough for us.
All right. Cool, man. Well, one more little thing. Quarantine week 4. I always have something related to quarantine. So today I realized just how much gaming is too much. I realized that my full-time job has been to get 6,000 TA difference a week for that stupid contest. And I started thinking how unsustainable this is, and that man, I'm just getting tired of it, and it could be because I'm just way outside my comfort zone. But have y'all got any game fatigue yet, or are y'all hitting it as hard as I am?
So I'm actually still I still work from home, so unfortunately it's yeah.
Okay, so you're not getting the fatigue then.
Well, the commute's better. Well, as long as traffic from my bed to my desk doesn't pile up, and I live alone, so that's really unlikely. But I haven't. Yeah, I stay up later. That's been nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Y'all, Koosh, are y'all getting tired of gaming yet?
Go ahead, El.
Okay. I mean, I've definitely been having to fight for a TV lately, so
so you're not hitting it hard.
My son plays the Switch at the same time my daughter's playing Minecraft, and I'm like, where do I go? Where do I go? But honestly, I enjoy my best gaming. I enjoy gaming at night when everyone goes to bed. So when I'm playing during the day, even though I can play for more time now, I get so housebound and antsy and want to go outside. It's just but. How much there is such a thing as too much gaming, but at night time flies, but during the day it's like, all right, something else. My eyes are tired.
Yeah, trust me, I'm there.
Too many screens. If it's not gaming, it's watching a movie or watching a show or on the computer, so it's just too many screens.
Well, for me it's screens with gaming on it. I got the Windows running, I got my stuffed Rhino doing Connect on the 360, and then I'm playing the Xbox One. So I got like 3 different. I feel like I'm spinning plates here. But anyway.
When you're at a G-Task, are you going to slow down?
Yes,
just a little,
for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not even like I just wanted to get a million gamer score, man, and that's not what I'm doing right now. My ratio has gone up, man. I was at like a 1.33 or low 1.3, I don't know, and now I think I'm closing in on 1.41. It's insane. I'm just,
all right.
it's just insane.
There'll be a backlog waiting for you, my friend.
Oh man, May's gonna get exciting.
How's Kelly handling your GTASness?
Well, she finally complained the other day, and that was shots fired across the bow, and I'm like, oh boy. And so I keep explaining, it's only 7 more weeks. So yeah, we're gonna get this
10
done.
months of the year.
It's like, and then I'm waking up at like 4 a.m. and staying up to see what happens at the cutoff for the bonuses and all this and that, and it's just like I'm so tired. Like on Mondays I'm so tired because I only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep because of this stupid contest. So anyway, but I'm so ready for it to be over. But,
all right, 4-player teams next time. You can get X out of retirement to help you.
There you
He'll
go.
do it.
But Koosh, are you gaming it up? Or
Oh
what?
no, I work from home, and I'm lucky enough to not be furloughed. But my wife also works from home, and we got a 6-year-old daughter, and so I have less game time now than previous.
Okay.
So
I'm clearly having a different experience than everyone else. So, and I feel bad even. So I strike it from the record. I'm not complaining. I'm sorry. Because I know several people that would excite them to no end to be just able to play games literally all morning, but it gets to you after a while. I'm serious.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah,
diminishing returns, man. anything is can be overdone.
Yeah, moderation's key, man. That's it. Especially when milking a ghost. So we'll move on to community questions. So I threw it out there where I just was trying to get some questions, and we got peppered with a ton of questions, and then Elle's got his own thing going on here. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but we're just going to just read the question and just answer it however we feel. We're not going around the panel or anything, so we should knock these out pretty quick. So Elle, get us started. What you got?
You throw me off guard here, my friend.
I mean, it's on the sheet.
Well, my stuff was going to be surviving Mars related, but we got that. I got that out of my system.
Oh, okay.
But I'll think of something. Go ahead. I'll think of something.
The pitchforks early. I see.
I did. Go ahead.
You could. Yeah. All right, Nate. Why don't you kick us off?
Sure. Freemole asks, Nate, have you done the handstand challenge yet? And I respond the same way my man Ryan Reynolds did, and I say, no.
Awesome. Okay. Vulgar, what you got?
This is from the quote-unquote retired X. Why hasn't Jeffy been on in so long? I don't know, man. Maybe he's got things. Maybe he took a good look in the mirror and was just like, this.
I thought you were going to say that maybe. I was so waiting for you to say that maybe he had a hashtag sham retirement from the show.
Yeah,
so.
That could be too. Maybe at one point one of us will know, and I'll be like, I'm unretired. He'll pull Jordan, and it'll be his like baseball stint, and then he'll come right back to the NBA.
I had the answer. I think he was furloughed.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually. I like that. Man,
that's for you.
That was bearable. Now, Cherry wants to know, who is ElroyOMJ and why is he the real MVP? Well, probably because everyone's pitchforks missed. That's right. I'm still alive. Y'all tried to get me out of there. They're trying to get him DQ because we can't beat him. Oh, yeah, I'm still in it. And guess what? I'm tired. I've been gaming nonstop for weeks now, and I am ready to stop. So maybe that's why I'm the real MVP, is because I freaking play 3 different systems at once, and it is starting to get on me. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. What about you, Al?
Just ask me anything.
Did you have a good day?
I did.
Awesome. Koosh.
Fug asks, draw a Stickman epic. Is it saying it's an awesome game, or is it a story about Stickman? I did a little research, and I'm pretty sure the answer is that it's a story about Stickman, but I always say, why not both?
Why choose? Okay.
Yeah.
Vulgar?
If you could hang out with any 3 video game characters, who would they be, and what would be the reason you choose them? Oh, okay.
That was facial LaFleur. I want to make sure he gets credit for that. Sorry, I forgot to write that on
Okay. All right. I'm going to pick Duke Nukem.
Oh yeah.
Because I think he would be fun to hang out with. I'd also hang out with Crash Bandicoot. Because he could bring the fruit, and then the L block from Tetris for obvious reasons.
Oh, that's me.
Obvious.
Awesome.
All right.
And then
Trick Quivia question.
You got your question now?
Vulgar.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to ask you, right? What famous line in Duke Nukem is uttered by a famous wrestler in a movie? You got this, right?
Oh, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Nice. And what?
That was
what's
well
it
done.
from? Yeah.
Whoop, sorry.
That's okay. I know he knows it.
I got my Roddy Piper shirt,
Yeah,
my
he's
Hot
got
Rod shirt.
Yeah. So good.
I can party.
Well, speaking of party, Vulgar asked, "You're going to hit him with the boat oar?" To which I say, "Yeah, I'm going to hit him with the boat oar, and I'm going to kill him, and I'm going to go to death row."
Oh, I thought you were going to hit him with the boat oar and kill him and then take his place. Sorry, that's spoilers to the 1997 classic, the talented 99 classic, The Talented Mr. Ripley. Spoilers to a 21-year-old movie.
Man,
Matt Damon.
Spoilers.
21?
Yeah.
Matt Damon. Did you just go Team America?
Maybe.
Oh, man. I literally watched that last night. That's crazy. Yeah, and everyone knows the theme song for it. Now, one little tidbit is look up the sad version of it. It's awesome. There's a sad version of the theme song. So, yeah. Now that leads us to Willin and Dylan. So a ginormous sale just dropped. I can't guarantee that everyone actually looked at the entire list because it was too long, but we all picked games anyway. So Vulgar, which games are you interested in this week?
So is this the Sailway? Okay.
Yes, that's my man.
Did it! I did it! I was waiting all day.
Your puns are safe here.
Yeah. So the Konami collections are all on sale. So there's the arcade classics, but the ones that I'm more interested in, and the ones that I think a lot of people would be into, are the Contra and Castlevania collections. So you get all of the old school Contras, all of the old school Castlevania games. They are a lot of fun to go through, and pretty simple completions. If you are a cheater and use a password system, you can go through all of the Castlevania games. But why would you do that?
Are you saying there's a code for Konami?
Does it?
There is a
Yeah.
Konami
Shocker.
code, and you can do that for and so that you can do that for
That
Contra.
doesn't work on Castlevania
No,
though.
but there's a level skip end code. So if you just
Do you get the
you do,
achievements?
all you have to do is beat the
Oh,
game
boy.
For Castlevania, but you shouldn't.
Oh.
And the only one that doesn't have a level skip code is actually the one that I would want the most. It's the Game Boy Castlevania. That one's on there.
The first one or the Dracula thing?
Both.
Kid Dracula. Ah.
All of them are on there. So you get no Vayners, weirdly enough, but you do get Castlevania 1, 2, 3, 4, which is Super Castlevania, which is my favorite. Super Castlevania is awesome. It's great. If you haven't played it, just go buy that. And then, and then you get the Game Boy ones, which aren't as good. And Kid Dracula, if you're into that kind of thing. I thought that game was pretty fun, too. And then Contra gives you all of the old Contra games and the arcade versions for those. So there's a lot of good games. If you're into the retro stuff, stuff I played when I was a kid, or when Elle was middle aged.
Got him!
But.
No. So I'm looking at the Castlevania collection. It looks like it's 1700 TA. So you're telling me I can get 700 TA difference just by typing in a bunch of passwords on a bunch of different games and be done with it?
You have to beat the final level, so you do actually have to beat Dracula, but I think you can save scum it if you are so inclined.
Oh, okay.
You can rewind and stuff, can't you?
I didn't do much of that. I just played through most of them fairly legit. The only ones that you can't is, like I said, the Game Boy ones, but those are real short. But not that first Game Boy one is rough.
Yep.
Oh man,
it is.
All right.
And then the Contra one, you have to. I hope you like. There's one Contra game that if you want the full completion, you have to play through it 6 times. But
what?
You have to get all the different endings. But if you go on TA, some gorgeous, smart, intelligent person wrote how to get the specific endings, so you are in good hands.
Oh, Contra has multiple endings?
It's Contra Hardcore Corpse. Corpse? C-O-R-P-S?
Yeah, Core.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to play it 5 times. And then there's also the European version, which is called Probotector. And that one you have to play again to get the beat all Contra.
Yeah, that's where they took out the people and put robots because human violence was so bad.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that's... and
that makes me not want to play it.
Yeah, you have to do Probotector, and then Contra 3 also has, like, Super Probotector. And, yeah, I didn't know anything about that when I first played it. I was just like, what's Probotector? Then I slowly realized it was just Contra 3 again.
All right. Well, fantastic. Mr. Koosh, what are you... well, I don't know. You confused me earlier when you said you added it to your cart. That's not standard protocol, right?
Well,
I thought we were on the tab system.
That's the super secret protocol. I was told that tabs were not allowed. So what I do now is I add things to my cart, and then I either buy them at the end of the week, or I drop some stuff and buy some stuff, or I just drop everything and forget about it. This week, I have added Away Journey to the Expected, and it's $5 down from $17. This is a action RPG role-playing game, and it looks interesting. That's the only thing I can say about it. It looks kind of cartoony, and I kind of like the way it looks. So I thought maybe I'll check that out.
Oh, I have played that one.
There you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't look horrible.
All right. Yeah, it's not bad. It's interesting. Yeah, it's you'll enjoy it. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. Not terrible.
May. So, okay. I really have nothing that I remember about that game. So I think there's a bunch of ping pong in it, but I couldn't tell you why. I just remember there's ping pong in it. So there you go. Yeah. So enjoy ping pong. Mr. L, what games are you looking at?
All right. Well, this is a long list. Looks like Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove is 75% off, $375. Talked about that before on the show. Good 4-player fun. We got Round Guard, which Michelle talked about last week. Got a small little discount, 20% off, $16, but $4 off is $4 off. Your favorite game is on there. Elroy Shape Up is $10.
Yeah, I need to get back on that.
Still putting Connect games on here.
Hell yeah.
And I think I want to get Defunct, which I assume that's the game that's like Refunct, right? Yeah, that's $1.
Defunct, it's like a robot game, man.
Which is the game that's like Refunct? You know what I'm talking about? Where you're the square and you're jumping around.
Rebuild.
There's a game similar to Refunct. Right? It's not this one. This one is that out. Crayola Scoot. 80% off, $5.99.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of play that. Yeah,
I've been playing a lot of that. I have it on my Crab and my RTDL. I'm meaning to ask about that. RTDL 1 is to get to Fame level 7, and that's the achievement that Chip got, but it didn't pop for him, so he had to do the entire game over to get there. So that's the one I'm up to. So yeah. I need to ask the powers that be if buggy achievements can be re-rolled for free, but probably not. But I'm going to try it anyway first. Might have to get that one. Ooh, but I definitely want to. Yeah, well, now I really want to get the Contra collection. I've been waiting
Do it.
for it to go below 10, and now 8. Like it's a big difference, but it is a big difference because it sounds better.
Yeah, man. Type in some codes and get it done.
Yeah, man.
There's no asterisks.
That's right. Amen, bro.
You're actually hitting the buttons.
All right. Well,
Uno is on sale. Wait, what? Oh.
All right. Well, I briefly looked at the list. Most of the crap games I own, but my heart's just not in it right now because I miss them so much. But I don't know, Garfield or something. I don't know. I didn't even know that game existed, but apparently Garfield has a Mario Kart game. And but one that I might actually buy is I don't know how to say it. Reuse. I don't know, but it's a game that's worth 11,000 TA, and you can get it for $1.50. So that's pretty good payout right there. I was actually looking at this game earlier before it went on sale because I was just looking for ideas, and because you run out of games quickly when you're putting up 6,000 TA difference a week. So Reese did come to my attention. It appears like it's really frustrating. It's like you're a benevolent god creature that is guiding civilizations to building crap. There's a wiki for it that I could probably use, a walkthrough somewhere. There's a couple guides on TA. It looks like it has a really steep learning curve, but once you get over it, you can hit it pretty hard. So I may try it out. I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but I may actually try that stupid game that's worth 11,000 TA. So there you go.
Good luck, my friend.
What have I become?
60 to 80 hours. Oh my!
I'm not saying I'm gonna complete it. I'm just saying I'm gonna,
get some
of it out of it. Get some out of it. I don't know. I get $1.50 out of it. Oh man. Yeah. So if not, I can always try something on Game Pass. Oh my goodness, Game Pass. So if only somebody could tell us about that.
Yeah, who would that be?
It's very good discount. Yeah.
So, looking at the fantastic sheet here, there were some recently added games that I can try to speak about. There looks like there's Alta Vista Chronicles, which is probably about some sort of search engine. Oh,
I thought that was Hasta La Vista.
Yeah.
Baby.
Hasta La Vista. Yeah.
Kimco RPG. I've never played a Kimco RPG.
Well, they're all the same, so just buy one, play it, and you're done.
I think I got some for free. There's one like in Japanese, so one that I actually am interested in, Journey to the Savage Planet. It looks like a co-op kind of deal, and I am interested in some co-op or some bro-op. Also,
oh my,
yeah. Nice.
Me and the bros.
What? Well, you have a good chance of surviving this planet because you just survived Mars. So there you go. So you can journey to this savage planet and survive it too.
Yeah, I am a planetary survivor. Probably will take me a bit longer. Nier Automata was added, which is great because I spent $20 on it about 2 weeks ago. So you guys are
Congratulations.
very welcome that I decided to buy that and make it possible for it to be on Game Pass. That's what they were waiting for. I've heard nothing but great things about it, and it's something that I'm. It's on the list, and it's on the short list to get on there. And then one that I actually have played as totally reliable delivery service, which I've played with Ell, and then Waka helped me out. By help me out, I mean he did pretty much everything for me.
I think he did it for everybody in our community.
Yes,
so
so shout outs to him. But it's fun. I'm just terrible at it. It's you run around your it's kind of like the Human Fall Flat, and then you're trying to deliver packages, and hilarity ensues. So that looks it looks like a lot of fun, and is a lot of fun from what I've played. I still got to get.
Yeah, it's real similar to Human Fall Flat, so it's no wonder that he took to it so well. From what I can tell, that's what it's kind of like. I don't know. I was kind of like you. I just kind of watched him run around, and then all of a sudden he's in a UFO, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. So,
all right, yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'm digging it.
And then looks like nothing's sleeping. If you missed the boat on
that's cool.
Book of Unwritten Tales 2, you're lucky.
There's a reason it was unwritten.
Oh, they.
Well, all right. Well, and not quite as well. Actually, this is cheaper than, I don't know. Is Games with Gold cheaper than Game Pass? I don't know. It's about the same, isn't it?
I don't remember. Just bought them. It was stocked up in advance, and who knows? It just shows up.
There you go. So what we got? Games with Gold. Yeah,
Games with Gold. By the time this podcast drops, which should be Thursday, you may have an hour or two to go ahead and grab them. Project Cars 2 is a free Xbox One game. It's very simmy. I did not enjoy the first one. I'm sure I will not enjoy the second one and probably won't even play it, but I'm going to redeem it. And then Fable Anniversary for the 360. I'm sure I must have played the original. I would love to play the second one, or I'm sorry, not the second one, the Anniversary. That is available now. And I think the 16th, Knights of Pen and Paper 1 and 2 will be available. And those are role-playing games, so that's good for your gainers. And then Blinks the Time Sweeper is an Xbox original, so no achievements, but you might as well grab it. It's free if you have gold. So
ugh.
Waste.
Why'd they replace Toy Box Turbos?
Because they hate achievements. I'm not really sure.
That's the only thing that makes sense, right?
I can think. Not really sure why that happened. But so that's fine. Now I don't have to put Blinks in if I want to play it, I guess.
Awesome. Okay. And then did you say Pens and Paper is on sale this week?
I did not. But yeah, don't fall for that trap. If you like the price of $5 each, then go for it. But otherwise, you can get them for free if you wait, like I said, an hour from the time this is released. Or
but I really need it. I need it right now.
3 days from right now.
I must know. Shoot. So yeah, surely somebody's gonna do it, and we'll hear all about it, and then we will mock them. But hopefully not. So for contests, I'm gonna give you your G-Test update. So the G-Test finished it up. I don't know, week 1,000. I don't know, give or take a couple. It continues to run lives across America and the world, and this week it drew blood in the community. Actually, it was actually a bad morning for us. There was a scramble. Well, I woke up and I had 5,700, and I was in like 20 something place. And if I hadn't scored any additional, if I had just slept in, I probably would have been eliminated because it was really compacted. It was I went ahead and knocked out 400 real quick and got up to 6,100, and I finished about 8th. But I think the cutoff was not much. I think it was like 5,700 or 5,800. I don't have it pulled up in front of me. But a couple people were in there. We had probably the biggest. Before we get to that, I guess the biggest news was that we had a DQ this week, and it was notable. The team was ranked number 1, I believe, on Exprovo's power rankings. They've been account sharing for weeks and weeks and weeks and years.
Allegedly.
And
they're just three friends.
They're just a bunch of guys that just three friends having fun. And so the end result has been crazy. So there was no team elimination this week. All the teams got a week off, but unfortunately the individuals did not, although one of the members of that team was DQ'd. So only 2 were eliminated this week. But on the team side, that means it opens it up for a wonderful community team that moves into the number 1 spot. I'm speaking, of course, about Brer Tom and the Possum Folk, who jumped all the way from number 12 to number 1 in light of this new information. So congratulations to those guys. But back to the serious subject here. On the individual side, we lost 2 people. Elle, would you like to give a obituary about Wanda's husband?
Wanda, I'm very sorry for your loss. Your husband was an amazing person, and unfortunately, he is no longer in G-Task. NBA Kirkland, congratulations on making it this far, but your services are no longer required. Prue.
Oh.
I don't really care about Prue getting eliminated. He sucks anyway, so, you know.
Man, he was on the freaking podcast last week, and he was so full of life. He was so full of life, and I thought he was just an overcooked, or I almost said overcooked series, and I thought he was flying high with all that TA.
Yeah, but so what happened? He wasted a day playing Halo Reach with us, which is a bunch of 5-pointers, and
so you did this.
Is probably my fault somehow, like everything else is. But I don't know. I don't think he was in a. I mean, I don't think he's a filthy preloader, and I don't think he was long for it anyway. But awesome job, NBA Kirkland and Prue. Great job.
Yeah, NBA Kirkland just got sniped. He was in it all the way up into about 15. Well, not even that. Like 10 minutes left, and that useless fat dog. I'm not insulting him. That's his name. He scanned in and. Jumped over, and so NBA Kirkland was left holding the bag. So yeah, that was bad. So,
Prue's team is still
bad
in,
morning.
Right?
Bad morning. Yeah. So what's the implication there? Is he just going to drop off? I mean, I know that if I didn't have to score 6,000 TA difference a week, I would not be scoring 6,000 TA difference a week. So I can't imagine he's going to have the same drive, but maybe he will. Who knows?
We're down to
keep scoring so many
18 teams. Yeah, I'm sure he'll try.
Well, I hope so.
You can't pronounce. And Brer Tom and the Possum Folk.
Yep.
Any other community?
Oh, man, we got tons of community teams.
Oh, yeah? I don't know. That's about it as far as I know. No, I'm joking.
Let the Wookiee win, man.
Team Leapfrog.
So it's actually pretty cool. It's actually cool to see how many people are in the community that are in this thing. As like the G-Test forum on our Discord, or channel on our Discord, is actually the place to be when it gets close to elimination time, because it's like everyone's in there getting their popcorn and memes ready, and so there you go. But we'll get to how to find us probably at some point. So I guess let's hit some milestones. Why not? So let's see, Koosh, I think you have an important announcement to make about this, right?
Yeah, real quick. So the way we compile these milestones is you had to friend Fufu Cuddly Poof, but that basically makes his friend feed kind of useless. So we are switching that to a utility account. So be a friend to AH101#4639. That will be in the show notes document. And go ahead and do that. We actually have the steps in case you don't know how to add a friend that has a pound in their name. You can follow those. And at some point in the future, we're going to switch over to use that account. We are currently still using Fufu's, but we'd really like to have him have that be useful.
Yeah.
Personally.
PSA, we have a huge list of milestones this week, I imagine, because everyone is home and gaming.
That's
so proclamation point.
All right. I'm up first with some completion. Ben L 72 has 200 completed games. Congratulations on 200 completed games. And then completion percentage, Tropan 62%, and Kingsman, who cannot line up 4 headshots, is at 78%. Even though everyone else could do it. Just saying.
What do you mean? Tell us.
Tell me more.
Oh, well, there's a certain game called Cuisine Royale, and there's an achievement for shooting 4 people in the head. You just shoot them in the head. I mean, they got heads. It's not like Headlander. It's not floating around. You don't have to. Yeah. You don't. You just shoot them in the head and they die, and you're supposed to do it 4 times. And apparently that's too much. It was one too many. It was just too much. So there you go. So he has to redo that one.
All right, shame, Kingsman. You're better than that.
Shame.
All right, streaking 10-day streaks. Foof's favorite.
This is exciting.
Eliphalet 77, KooshMoose, and Vulgar Latin.
Woo!
It's coincidence.
Yay.
Spazpole, P-Tart Pretty, Skeptical Mario, who is basically in charge of this whole mess, Chewy on Ice, Totally Crispy X, Jim Bot, Lithuania, Hawkeye Berry 20, Jebrach, Reforce, Sim, and Wheezy Fuzz. That is a lot of 10-day streaks.
I'm so proud.
I will never get a higher streak than 10. It's the truest of the streaks.
And then the next highest streak on this list is Prue with 1,500 days. And Lady Matriarch 2,400 days. That is a lot of Kiefers. All right. And on the ratio side, I don't know who this person is, but Lady Licky has 1.69. Is this a joke? I mean, I like it. I mean, I like it, but, you know.
Way to go, Lady Licky, man.
Thanks, friend of Foof, I guess.
All right. Achievements 1. I'm not going to be able to top that. Achievements 1. And sorry if I butcher your name. Chesno got 4,000 achievements 1. Fufu Cuddly Poof has 6,500 achievements 1. Reset 42 has 8,500 achievements 1. And so does Hawkeye Berry 20. Another 8,500 achievements 1. Freemhole has 12,000 achievements 1. Keith with a whole bunch of numbers. 271179 has 13,000 achievements 1. Shadowless Edge has 13,000 achievements 1. My boy Ragnarok 0272 has 14,500 achievements 1. What the Fug has 15,000 achievements 1. Dunkos also 15,000 achievements 1. Enigma Gamer 77 has 17,000 achievements 1. Tropan has 17,500 achievements 1. Kingsman has 19,000 achievements 1 and 0 headshots in a row.
I'll say it should be 19.
It was 3, but yeah.
I was thinking you should have 19,001 achievements, but yeah.
Elroy has 22,500.
Oh, I love that guy. Come on,
he's great.
Oh,
I hear he gets 6,000 TA score a week. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but he does that.
So stupid. It's just stupid.
Has he told you guys this? It happens.
I
might have mentioned it in passing.
Brew has 24,000 achievements 1.
It's multiple Kiefers.
X the Hero has retired, but somehow managed to get 26,500 achievements 1. Totally Crispix has 43,500 achievements 1. Good job, everybody. I'll keep this going. We got some gamer score milestones as well. Death Dealers has 150,000 gamer score. I swear I can read. I know numbers. Yeah, good job. Oh man,
you should have tried. You should have seen before there were commas, man.
Oh,
this is a different time.
Y'all used to do this without commas?
Wild West, man.
Yeah, you would have heard
Back
me
in my
struggle to read. Eleflet 77 has 300,000 gamer score. Toadstyle Venom has 850,000. I can read. I swear I can read. 850,000 gamer score. Y'all are never going to invite me again. You're just going to be like, Vulgar Latin can't read.
Vulgar English is not your name.
In TA score, we have P-Tart TX with 600,000 true achievement score. Rockadude 5012 with 650,000. Ragnarok 0272 with 750,000. Chewy on Ice with 800,000. Reforce also with 800,000. Mighty Mango with 1 mil 450,000 TA score. Jimbot UK with a 1.5 and Totally Crispy X with the 2 mil TA. In leaderboards, we have Skeptical Mario, who is now in the top 20 of the True Achievement leaderboard for Metroidvania. That's a great leaderboard. Ben L72 is now in the top 50 of the TA leaderboard for Metroidvania. Also good leaderboard. Freemhole is now in the top 1,000 of the TA leaderboard for Connect Required. Hat 90 is in the top 20,000 of the TA leaderboard for basketball because that boy loves his sports. Chesno, top 1,000 of the England Gamerscore leaderboard for vehicular combat. High Road Vatu is now in the top 1,000 of the USA True Achievement leaderboard.
Murka.
Fufu Cuddly is now top 5 in the Maryland Gamerscore leaderboard for Xbox One management and top 2,000 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for Xbox One simulation. I wonder if there's any other sim games he could play that would help him. Waka Pale is the top 10 completed games leaderboard for Battle Royale, and Jay Black is now in the top 100 of the Canada True Achievement leaderboard for Sandbox.
Fufu needs to jump on that train, man.
Choo choo.
Whoop. Okay, so that takes us to trivia. we're not going to do DMs on this. You just tell me your answer. So I had to come up with a question real quick. So obviously I had the question for the panelists. And how many achievements have the word possum in them? Come on.
Wow. I'll throw out a number of 4.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Now, keep in mind, there is a possible stack here.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, before the show started, I guess 7. So I really just have to keep with that theme. 7.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I have no pressure to win. I wanted to go 2 earlier, so I'm just going to go 2. Price is Right rules.
All right. Well, if you listen to Achievement Wildlife Hunters, and we discussed possums about a year and a half ago, and we covered this. So those of you keeping notes, apparently we're only Mr. Vulgar Latin, because there is indeed 7 achievements that have the word possum in them.
Wow, I really did get that right.
You honestly did. You have Fast Possum, Legendary Possum, Plain Possum, Poets of Possum Springs, Roboto Possum, and Roboto Possum as well. I did not include descriptions, or else we would have got a dessert possum, but we did not.
And that was how many years ago? That was 2.5, you said?
That was a year and a half.
Jeez, this last week feels like a year.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 9.
Nothing's been added since then?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just going by Gamertag Nation, man. Gamertag Nation, that's what they're saying. So maybe, yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
So, all right. Well, I think that brings us to the time of our wonderful tell you where you can find us. I don't feel qualified to do that. So, Koosh, why don't you head us out?
Sure. We're on the Twitter, the Mixer, the Discord, and the Patreon. If you want to find links for that, you just check the show notes.
There you go.
Right.
Man, that's
the easy way.
Like a ninja,
that's
man.
The easy way.
Yeah, you did awesome on that. Okay, well, Vulgar, any parting thoughts? Anything you want to plug before we let you go?
Hey, just thanks so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. Hope I can join in again and buy Ultimate Chicken Horse. I swear, buy it.
And milk goat.
Yeah.
Goats and milk
I ain't
goats.
afraid of no ghosts.
I ain't afraid of milk.
Yeah, you should definitely join us for a game show sometime that may or may not be after this panel.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Class is dismissed.
Welcome back, everybody, to a very sequential segment. As you may or may not know, this is Level 90, and here at VSS, we like to take a moment out of our normal shenanigans to honor some of our favorite Chivos that carry the 90 Gamerscore banner. Further, you may or may not have noticed that the last time we did this was for Level 70. What you may or may not know that is significant about that statement is that we blew right on through Level 80, which holds a very special place in the hearts of those conducting this fine segment today. As a result, you may or may not know that we are filled with guilt and apologize deeply to our Overlord ACA hamster, who clearly was shortchanged by our oversight and who will just have to wipe away their tears with several of their $100 bills they've earned from us from, $8 at a time. However, you may or may not know that we could not possibly victimize our other favorite publisher, the one, the only, the king of 90-pointers, our passion, Ratalaika. What you may or may not know is that there are a lot of games out there with 90-pointers as well. How many rats scratch their way onto the list? And what Chivos could possibly be better than the entire rat catalog? Find out next as we discuss our top 3 90-point Chivos list. But first, some good old pleasantries. His head looks like a cue ball, and for good reasons. He currently ranks 81,510th in Q Sports gamer score in the world. He is X the Hero.
I honestly don't even know what pool game I've played.
He had like 50 points in something.
Oh my gosh, I do know. I don't remember what the game was called, like Pure Pool or something. There was a glitch. Oh, it's a snooker game. Someone listening knows what I'm talking about. There was a glitch where you could get a perfect break without actually getting a perfect break. So I fired the game up. Let me cheat my way to, I think, a free 550 gamer score. And they had patched it like 6 hours before I booted up the game.
Oh.
So I got the like, start the game, get 50 free points, and then that was it. I do know that.
So you were like, snooker, didn't even know her because you didn't get her.
Yeah.
That's a sad story, man.
I want to chime in that we really dropped the ball on level 80 10 whole weeks ago.
No,
How on earth can we live with ourselves without having done that?
I have no idea. I mean, we were not going to let that happen again. Not on 90. This one's too important.
Yeah. Also, I'm glad that you pronounced it correctly. It's Ratalaika. You said that. Well done.
Well, you know, I pride myself on pronunciating every word correctly. So, these lists work a little different. Normally, we just kind of mismatch our lists together, but this one's more of a individual project, in case you forgot, since the last time we did this was 20 episodes ago, not 10. So, I have my top 3, and Mr. X over there has his 3. So, I hope that we don't have any of the same ones, but I can't imagine that we do. So, I don't know.
I suspect that won't be a problem this time.
All right. Well, why don't you get us kicked off? What do you got? What is your number 3?
Number 3. Actually, I'm breaking the rules of VSS. I'm gonna just do my third, or my first, my second, my third out of order.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not really any order. I know that defeats the concept of
you just really let yourself go when you retire, huh?
Something like that. I mean, I know it's called a very sequential segment, and 1, 2, 3 is still technically very sequential.
Well, don't worry. Mine are in order.
Okay. I mean, we break the rules of the segment more than we actually follow it, so I think it's whatever.
Well, hell, man. We even skipped the 80th episode, so
yeah, there we go.
Blood's all over our hands. So.
All right. Anyway, I'd like to throw out that despite the fact that our friends Ratalaika do have tons of 90-pointers, none of my choices will be from rats. And in fact, Mr. Roy, all 3 of mine are from AAA games, even though you insist I don't play them.
Oh my gosh. Is this... Well, they're all from like the last week, and you're trying to convince us. Oh, I got you. I see what's going on here.
Actually, I have a 2013, a 2014, and a 2016.
Oh, before the good old days.
Before the good old days. All right. Anyway, let me get into my first pick. Goes to Desert Dragon Slayer, not Dessert Dragon Slayer, mind
That's
you.
Important.
That's a very, very crucial distinction. Desert Dragon Slayer from Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, and I know you haven't played this one, so I won't bother asking. In fact, only 2 other people on my friends list have played this game.
There's a reason for that.
This was a darn good game, my friend. But since I suspect most of our listeners don't know this game either, I'll give you a little short breakdown of the game, and then I'll sort of get into my achievement. So the short version is that this game easily has one of the coolest, most unique battle systems I've ever played in an RPG. It's kind of hard to describe, honestly, but basically, Lightning is your main character, and she can put on different schemata, which are outfits, basically. So just in the middle of a battle, you'll change your whole outfit, and then each outfit has its own set of abilities. It's not practical, but, you hit your costume change button, and there's like a flash of light, and it works. But so you have three different outfits.
At least she's modest. At least she blinds them, and so they're not looking at her.
Well, that's the thing. Some of them are not at all modest. Some of these outfits leave very little to the pixelized imagination. Some of them you wonder, because we always get the toned down version in Japanese games. And it's like, whoa, that's the American version. What the heck does the Japanese version of this outfit look like? But I digress. So you have three outfits, and ideally you have three different outfits on call at any time during battles. And the point of the system is that you're constantly swapping between them. So I'll give you like a real basic example. One of your outfits you have amplifies your black magic. So you equip your black magic spells, fireball, ice, thunder, and then your next outfit is your support outfit, so you heal and buff yourself with that. And then your third is your warrior outfit, so you have a sword and melee abilities. So an example of a combat flow would be, you get into combat, you start by casting spells, fireball, 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 and then you take some damage, so you switch to your support outfit, and then you heal yourself, so, Healga, or, whatever spell you want to use, and then protect and barrier. So now that you're healthy, you switch back to black mage, and then fireball, 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 and then the enemy's shield breaks, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So then you switch to melee outfit, and then you run up, and then you just beat them up with your sword. So the whole point is that you have, at all times, three different sets of abilities available to you. So the combat, it has a good level of depth to it, because you're always mixing it up. And it also has a lot of button memorization, too, because it's not just like, okay, X button is my sword slash, X button is your sword slash, and your fireball, and your, barrier spell. So a lot of memorization to it.
Well, you paid for those buttons. So, AAA games, they use all the buttons.
They sure do use much more than...
So it's part of the deal.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into.
Anything over $15, you usually are going to be using a lot of buttons. So
that's a fantastic selling point, actually. But anyway, now that that's out of the way, I can talk about my achievement, Desert Dragon Slayer, a little bit. So you get this for beating Aeronite, he's the desert dragon, because it's Desert Dragon Slayer. What else?
One S stands for sand. 2 S's for sweet stuff. That's how you remember, people.
Wouldn't that be 3 S's?
Sweet stuff?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Because you don't eat carbs, so it's super sweet stuff.
Oh, I got you.
You know what? That sounded a lot better in my head.
Okay.
And then I said it aloud. That was an epic fail. That was really bad. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to keep it moving, man.
No, it's all good. So anyway, Desert Dragon Slayer is for beating Aeronite, the Desert Dragon. He is an optional boss and quite easily the toughest in the game. Honestly, one of the toughest bosses I've played in a Final Fantasy game, period. So... to someone who hasn't played the game, which again is probably most of you, the breakdown of the fight wouldn't make any sense. So I'm not going to, explain how the flow of the fight goes. But basically, it requires mastery of 3 very different outfits with very specific abilities that you have equipped. You need good reflexes to change outfits and cast on the fly, and you honestly need to be good at the game. It's not an easy fight. If you mess up the flow of battle, even like 1 second, one wrong button press, most of his attacks will one-hit kill you. So you really have to stay focused for the whole fight. And I know you've played a couple, RPGs and JRPGs. So you get those like rare healing items, and you're like, ooh, this item is really good. Let me save it for the perfect moment. And then you never use it because you don't want to feel like you've wasted it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
you get to the end of the game and you got like a whole backpack full of healing items.
Right, like, ooh, an elixir. It's so rare. Let me save this until I need it. Yeah, exactly. And you beat the final boss and you have 45 elixirs. Like, okay, right. That would have helped. Yeah, so those items that you get in this game, you pretty much need to use them for this fight. Because when you use an item, it works instantly versus your spells, you need to cast them. So if you need to heal... that's a 2-second cast to heal you. He's going to kill you in that 2 seconds versus your, Mega Potion will just instantly heal you to 100%. So you actually use them. And honestly, it might be the first JRPG where I've ever actually used a stack of elixirs. So that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough fight. Again, I'm not going to break it down. What really made the fight stand out to me, though, and what sort of made it worthy of my top 90 pointers is... how, well, maybe you don't, But when you face like a super powerful boss, you kind of play it safe. You know, you block or you dodge or, you know, you heal when you need to. And then once you have like the perfect opening, you know, it's nice and safe. That's when you go in and you beat on it a little bit. You sort of play the defensive game.
No, I really don't do that.
Okay.
I'm always the last person to know there's a block button in a game.
I believe that. Well, that's sort of my big epic boss strategy is play it safe. Even if the fight takes 20 minutes, you know, I played it safe. I could have rushed it in 5 and, you know, high risk, high reward, but I play it safe. Can't do that with Erronite because he is on a 3-minute timer. And if you don't beat him in 3 minutes, he basically says F you and just runs away. And then it's not like the damage that you did sticks. You have to completely start the fight over. But I mentioned that you can break an enemy's shield, and I said I'd talk about it a little later. That's a game mechanic called staggering. And basically, once you do enough of a certain type of damage, you can stagger the enemy. And Erronite is no exception. So each time you stagger him, it gives you another 3 minutes. But you can only do it 4 times. So at most, you have 15 minutes to beat the boss. But it's honestly closer to like 10 because you're not waiting the full 3 minutes to stagger him. You're sort of doing it as soon as you can. So it's not easy. You have, you know, realistically 10, 12 minutes to beat this boss. So looking at my timestamps, it took me about an hour and a half, like an hour and 40 minutes to beat this boss. And I remember that being an incredibly stressful, you know, hour and 40 minutes. And then I had to put the game down. Like I stopped playing for 3 or 4 days because that worked me up too much. I got way too stressed out after beating him. But yeah, anyway, Erronite is certainly top 5 easily hardest bosses I've ever beaten in a game. And it's just a proud accomplishment of mine. So felt worthy to include him in my top 90. Even though he's not a dessert dragon.
Yeah, that would make it better, man. It sounds like it wasn't a AAA game. It was a quadruple A game. I mean, you know, because there's 4 A's in it. Now, we have...
What?
Exactly. My number 3 is Solo, Islands of Heart. That's the game. And the name of the achievement, Solo. I guess because, you know, it's part of the name of the title. So you get it for completing the game by boat. There's really no other way to complete the game, but they, I guess whatever. But this game, I can't remember. Did I ever talk about this game or not? See, I'm getting kind of old and forgetful, so I can't remember if I ever talked about this game or not.
I know on this podcast, we've mentioned this game, but I don't think Exe or Elroy has mentioned this game.
Okay. All right. Well, if I did, I apologize. This is going to be some rewarms. But if not, hey, you're in luck. Or maybe you just didn't listen to that episode. Who knows?
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. So, or you can just hit the scrub button. But so this is a game that tries to explore your relationship with your significant other. So it does so by just asking you a bunch of nosy personal questions, and then you do some stuff, and then you get to the next little checkpoint, and then it asks you another personal question, and you answer it one of 2 ways. And the game is supposed to mold to whatever your answers are, and then you're supposed to get a nice reflective journey into your relationship. Kind of a thing. It's kind of a video game therapist, if you will.
Okay.
Now, yeah. And so I went into it thinking, oh, whatever, you know. And so I wasn't playing this game in order to get insight on my relationship. I was like, whatever, man. I'm just going to get through this game. And so when the game started, so why this achievement? So when this game started, I just did it wrong. So instead of using Kelly, my actual significant other, as the person that I would be answering the questions in regard to, I guess I could have just button mashed, but I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and read it and answer one way. And so instead of using Kelly, I decided it'd be funny if I used Giggle Pig. And so, so it's like I made it the story about a man in his relationship with his dog, and I thought that would yield funnier results than just using my actual wife. And so, I got into the game, and I just thought it was going to be a little stupid, you know, kind of surface deep looking relationship kind of thing. But no, this game actually is very in depth and asks you some really tough questions about your relationship. And so it was probably about 30 minutes in that I realized that this was this was getting kind of weird, answering the questions as if if the other person was a dog. And so, for example, they was asking me about the importance of sex in my relationship.
Oh my god!
and et cetera, et cetera. And see, I don't quite roll like that. And Giggle Pig isn't a humper. Now, Mingo's a humper, but no, Giggle Pig is not a humper. Our relationship's not like that. It's definitely deviated there, and if not earlier. And there really wasn't a good response that made me sound like I wasn't a weirdo. And so at that point, I kind of tried to change it over to like I was playing it with as if Kelly was the significant other, but that's not what the game is designed to do. And so I ended up just totally flubbing this game. If I had gone into it correctly from the beginning and did it the way that they told me to do it, it probably would have been a little more enjoyable. But if you haven't played this game, I would suggest you do it, because it looked like there were some pretty good questions. And even though I didn't really play it right, I still got a little bit of something out of it. I think it does help you appreciate your significant other more, which probably a lot of people could probably use around this time after being trapped in the same house with somebody for several weeks, if that's not been a wonderful time in your life. But hey, man, I ain't got no kids. It's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, this has been great. I'm talking to all my coworkers, and they're like, "Oh, like, how do you find time to do, our school stuff when I'm teaching my own kid?" And I just send myself with like a bottle of scotch on the couch.
Yep,
this is great.
Yeah, I have no complaints, but I hear others do. So I'm trying to speak to the masses here. So you might try playing this game. I don't know. Hopefully, it wouldn't yield to push you over the ledge and to unintended consequences. But it's actually really interesting. So that's why I chose it, is because it's whenever I see this game, I always think of how funny it is to me, because it's not meant to be played as your relationship with your dog. Just trust me on that. All right. And it was a good game. So there you go. So that was my number 3.
I have not played this game. I own it. But I kind of knew what it was going into it.
Oh, I didn't. I did not.
Yeah, I kind of looked it up a little bit. So as soon as you said Giggle Pig, I knew I knew that was going to be awesome. I don't know any of the questions, but like I said, I know the general overview of the game. And yeah, you are not supposed to do that with your dog.
Right. And if you do go back and play it, before you answer the question, think of it in terms of if it was your dog and how funny that would be to you. So yeah, there you go.
Maybe I'll do it with Jeffy or something.
There you go. It yields on some pretty interesting questions.
Hey man, you stay away from me. I imagine that's what he would say, but
yeah.
All right. Well, my number 2. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Number 2 is.
I thought you abandoned numbers altogether, so I was pressing
it's
issue.
My first, my second, and my third. It's still sequential. Anyway, I'm gonna break rules within already breaking the rules. Is that like rule breaking squared? My number two is a 2-in-1 kind of list entry. But both entries are from the same game, so like it's not crazy. But just let me do my thing, right? So these 2 achievements are from the bane of my existence, and I'm not talking about third period. P.S. I don't miss you guys at all, but I do mean freaking Dark Souls.
Oh,
the original one back on 360. I know you haven't played it.
I didn't know they were that old.
I think 2010 or 11 it came out. I didn't play it until 2013. Anyway, the achievements in question are Dark Lord and To Link the Fire, which are the 2 ending achievements. Both of them are worth 90 points, and they're basically the same thing. Well, yeah, Dark Souls fans will kill me for that. You have to kill the final boss, and then you can either walk away or light a fire, and that's it. Those are the endings. So you have to beat the boss regardless, but man, like freaking Dark Souls, I hate this game. I hated it while I played it. I hated it after I finished it, and I hate it to this day. I hate Dark Souls. Easily the game I hate the most. Elroy, have I mentioned that I hate Dark Souls? Because I hate Dark Souls.
Well, I guess the best follow-up question would be is why do you hate it so bad, X?
I hate everything about the invisible floors. Come on.
Oh man, they use those pretty good in a movie you probably didn't see with Indiana Jones in it.
I actually have not seen any indie movies.
That's why I didn't even try.
Yeah, no, I just don't like it's too stressful. It's not like scary, like Resident Evil kind of stressful. It's just one wrong move. Well, two wrong moves, you're dead, and it's a pain in the butt. And I play games to relax.
You're not. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Indiana Jones movies.
Oh no, Dark Souls, which I hate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't. I play games to relax, to have fun, maybe to challenge myself, not to rip my hair out. I had a full head of hair until I played Dark Souls. That's what did this to me. Freaking
origin
Dark
stories,
Souls, right? Anyway, so you know how my first choice, Desert Dragon Slayer, was about a really hard boss that I'm proud of beating, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Dark Souls has one really hard boss, too, and its name is Gravity. But,
okay.
Yeah, you know how, like, the games that you play...
See, I know nothing about the game. I thought that maybe there actually was an enemy called Gravity.
No, you know how, like, most of the games that we play, if you just walk up to, a cliff, there's, like, an invisible wall there?
Huh?
Yeah, Dark Souls, you walk up to a cliff, and then you fall off the cliff, and then you're dead.
Oh, okay. And
there's like an online feature where people can like leave messages, and they're supposed to do it to like leave hints like, hey, cool weapon this way, or dodge to defeat the boss. So right out of the gate, out of the tutorial, you are walking down a path, and someone put a note like right off the side of a ledge, and it just said like cool stuff here. Or like early weapons, like, good stuff early on or something. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like there's, a hidden supply cache to make the game a little easier. So here's me in my tutorial, and I just walk right off the cliff, and you are dead. Like, oh my God, that's how this game is going to be. That's how it's going to be.
I hope that somehow that got back to whoever put that note there.
Right? In retrospect, it's hilarious. I told my brother, who was, big into the game, he's like, that's awesome. I do that to people all the time. So, like, way to go, Troll Bob. But, yeah, so Gravity is the hardest boss. The bosses themselves, once you learn, the flow of combat, aren't that bad. But Gravity, man, Gravity. So anyway, I don't want to talk about this game much longer because it really did leave a horrible taste in my mouth. But here's my Dark Souls story. So I just mentioned my brother told me to check out this cool game he got. And this was at a time when I didn't have 500 unplayed games, so I obliged. We even license transferred his tag over to my 360 so I had access to it. Did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Oh, yeah, back in the good old days. So I got Dark Souls, both the Batman games, and something else from him, too. But, anyway, so we had, I had access to the game. 10 minutes in, I already hated this game. And yet, I kept playing. Something kept poking at me to keep going and playing and playing even more. And ultimately, I played this game exclusively nonstop for pretty much 6 days straight over summer. I slept like 6 hours a night and then played this game 18 hours a day. I played nothing else. I barely slept. I was obsessed. And I hated it. And eventually I beat it. I even got the full 1K in it, which I'm kind of proud of that, I guess. But man, I hate this game. I hated every second of playing it. I have not played another entry in the series. I have not played a Souls-like game because I don't want to put myself through that kind of stress again. So yeah, I'm proud I beat it, and it's a cool, completion on my tag, but I hated it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And for being the game that I hate the most and having two 90-pointers for the endings, it seemed like a fitting, like, anti-entry, kind of, for my most memorable 90-pointers.
Well, memorable is, that goes both ways.
That's what I figured. Yeah. Even if you're infamous, you have famous in that word.
Yeah, you're beyond famous. You're infamous.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I hate Dark Souls.
Okay. Hey, that's fair. I have no opinion about it. So I just know I'll never play it.
You're not missing out.
Okay. My number 2. All right, for my number 2, it is from Prison Break.
Is this a game, or is this like talking about your college years?
Yeah, well, Oh man, fortunately I dodged those bullets there, you know. But yeah, I was a terror in college and high school, but woof, yeah. But Prison Break, apparently it was a TV show. I believe it was on Fox, if I'm not sure. They showed commercials all the time during NFL football time, and I've never watched a single episode of it, but it was a TV show, and it's also a video game on the old 360.
Is the game based off the TV show?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
And so, I've never seen it, so I don't know. I assume it's something.
Well, I think it would have like pictures of the cast, like on the cover or something.
Yeah, it does. And you're in prison, and I think you're like from what I can tell from the story, I haven't beat the game. I lost interest halfway through. But from what I can tell, you're in prison, but you're not really. You're just kind of investigating something. So you're actually a special agent of some sort, and so you're pretending to be a prisoner and trying to get intel, but I couldn't tell you what about, and yeah, I don't know. So you're trying to convince the prisoners you're one of them, but you're also, the people that run the thing don't know that you're a special agent because it's super special or something. I don't know. You got me. I'm sure somebody out there is just cringing because they love the show, but
it's kind of like me in Dark Souls. I offended people get so into that game.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Prison Break has such a following, but maybe it does. Who knows? But the achievement is called Doesn't Play Well with Others, which was actually pretty accurate about me in multiplayer for several years. But I'm getting a little better at that. But that's not why I chose it. But the achievement itself is for beating up more than 100 people on Shark.
Whoa!
Yeah, and so you might be like, well, Shark, okay. Is that is there a stage or something to do with sharks? It has nothing to do with sharks. I have no idea why it's called Shark, but that is the difficulty level, and Shark is the highest difficulty level. So I don't know if Guppy is the easy or something. I didn't look at the easy, or I don't remember. I'm sure I looked at the time, but I don't remember what they were. But Shark was the most difficult, and so to make it one playthrough, you play through on Shark, because I think the difficulties stack in the event that you get through this boring game and actually beat it and get the stack. Now, so why did I choose this achievement? Well, let me tell you how you get to this achievement first. So you make your way through the I don't know, courtyard. Is that it? I don't know. It's like the place where the prisoners run free and everything.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the courtyard thingy, and you will meet some dude that doesn't look suspicious at all, who's leaning up against a wall, and which just happens to be right next to a door. Anytime some big dude is leaning up against a door or next to a door, that's always a bad sign. But anyway,
starting to sound like a Shawshank Redemption kind of thing.
Yeah, so you go talk to this guy, and he's like, "You're here for the," he's not. He's a little more subtle, you're here for the event, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, whatever the case is, he's running an underground fighting ring. And so you get through him, and he lets you in, and then you can go fight folks for money, and you use money in prison. I didn't realize there was so much currency being floated around there, and that they were receiving basically teacher pay, but that's okay. And
it's really close to home.
Yeah, I'm just saying, on the smallest fight here, you're getting $50 a pop. So I think substitutes get about $80 a day or something. But
our subs get $115 a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Inflation or something. Cost of living. That's it. So you go into this fighting ring, and basically you're going to fight the first fight, which is just a delightful guy. His name is Soda Pop. Coincidentally, he looks like he has drank many a soda pop. He doesn't look like Soda Popinski from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, who was very pink and ripped. I don't know if you remember that guy. But Soda Popinski would definitely wear out Soda Pop. Soda Pop is definitely the poor man's Soda Popinski. Now, you basically just beat the crap out of him. He should just be called, can of beans or something, because, you just kick the crap out of him, and then you get ready for the next fight. And then you're like, okay, who wants to fight now? You look around the room. You can fight more, challenging opponents on Shark, but Soda Pop's back up, and he's ready to fight again. So, hey, Soda Pop, you want to fight again? Yeah, sure. And then you just kick the crap out of him a second time. And then you're like, okay, who wants to fight now? Oh my gosh, Soda Pop's ready for another fight. And so you beat the crap out. I mean, it's amazing. This guy, they say that you can tell a lot about a guy, not how many times he gets knocked down, but by the number of times he gets up. And Soda Pop has character, my man. He gets up 100 freaking times. 100 times, man. So you just beat the crap out of him 100 times. It's a nice little grind, and then you get the achievement. Now,
does he ride away on his pony boy after you beat him up?
His pony boy?
Soda Pop? Pony boy?
Oh, Outsiders.
Yeah!
Yeah, okay.
All right, you had me worried a little bit.
Okay, yeah. And then Sharks. Isn't that one of the gangs? Maybe? No? That might be a West Side Story.
Socia's Sharks, whatever.
All right, so, yeah, I'm not an English teacher. Now, when you get this achievement, actually in doing this 100 fights, it will actually lead you to 10 different achievements. You get one for beating beating someone up without taking any damage. You get it for doing this. You get it. There's like several progressive ones, and you end up with 10 achievements in the game, which is worth 300 gamer scores. So 3/10 of the game can be made within just by going down into this underground fight place and beating the crap out of Soda Pop.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's actually worth your time to do this. So I'm very impressed by his persistence, but that's not why I chose this achievement. And only one person out there actually knows why I chose this achievement, and that would actually be Matriarch. Because little known fact was that when we first started this show, the podcast, I should say, way back, 2 Julys ago.
Yeah.
Yep, 2 Julys ago, before the first panel had ever recorded anything, before any VSS had been recorded, before anything had been recorded, we were floating around like, we're going to do a show. What are we going to do? What's some ideas for some things? And so I always had the idea of like a segment show. I don't know if you've noticed, but I like my good segment here.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And so I was always pushing for segments. And so I said, well, you could just, what if everyone just recorded some kind of segment? You know, some people could record together, some people separate, whatever. And then we just kind of make it like a mixed match of different segments. And so I recorded a 10-minute monologue about Soda Pop, about this very achievement. And I sent it to him, and I said, "Hey, what do you think of this? Would this be something that we could do on the podcast? Is this kind of what we're looking for? You know, give me some feedback here." And so she wrote me back. You know, I don't even remember what she says. I'm like, you know, it's all right, yeah, good, whatever. You know, and this monologue was never aired. I suspect it's still floating out over space somewhere. It would be pretty funny if she still has it. I couldn't find it, but if she still has it, it'd be funny just to throw it on at the end of the podcast at some point. I'm sure it's terrible.
I was just going to say that after Waka does his thing. You know, thank you, everybody. Have a good day. And then just Elroy, 10 minutes about Soda Pop.
About Soda Pop. And so if you were a AH-101 historian, just know that level 1 later changed to level 0 to kind of get it out of that's not the first thing you listen to. It was not the first audio of the show. So a crappy breakdown of Soda Pop from Prison Break, however, was the first audio ever created for the intent of putting it on this podcast. So there you go. I actually kind of want to hear that now. I don't even know what I said. I'm sure it's probably similar to what I just said. I don't know. I don't remember.
What do they do like to like rivers and lakes? They rake the bottom to get the bodies or the cars. What's the expression?
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
We're gonna whatever. I don't think it's rake. We're gonna rake the internet or the Dropbox and find this. That's gonna bother me. Why can't I remember that expression? Hopefully everyone listening, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. People do it. People do it to fish tanks down in Texas to get all the fish out. It's kind of a jerk move. They get this net and they take it from one end to the next, and they steal all your fish. True story, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. Man.
Okay, well, just another very quick fish story. My uncle had I think like a 55-gallon fish tank in his bedroom. All sorts of really cool fish. And he was also like a chimney kind of chain smoker, like light one cigarette with the, burning butt of another. And he would only smoke in his bedroom to keep it out of the rest of the house. So his fish, if you'd look at his fish, they were like the most wired fish you've ever seen. And we always just sort of assumed it was because of all the nicotine in the air would just land in the fish tank and they'd swim. And very sad, true ending to this story. He ended up adopting 2 girls, so he just quit smoking cold turkey, hasn't gone back since. Proud of him. It's been like 6 years. But a month after he stopped, like all of his fish died within a week.
So I got dependent on it.
And he didn't change any of the routines for taking care of the fish tank. We genuinely think his fish died of nicotine withdrawal. And if that's not the saddest thing you've heard all day, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that was not a good time for his fish tank. Anyway, my last pick comes from a game that you've actually played.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Jack the Ripper DLC in Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Okay.
And the achievement in question is Ripperologist for achieving 100% synchronization within the DLC. And not only have you played this game, but you've actually earned this achievement.
There you go. That's my early days, man.
That shocked the heck out of me because I know you enjoy Assassin's Creed. We've talked about that in depth. But I didn't know that you partook in DLC.
Oh, yeah. Well, and 100% sync, man.
And I
Go
also
check my
didn't
record.
know that you went for 100% sync. I learned something about my buddy Elroy.
Yeah, Completionist Elroy was alive and well many years ago.
All right. Well, actually, it's not really quick. Medium-length sidebar here. It's not about nicotine-addicted fish, though. So the other day in Discord, if you're listening to this one, and, it comes out, I believe it was this Monday, maybe Sunday, but it doesn't matter. The other day in Discord, we were talking about our favorite Assassin's Creed games and our favorite assassin protagonists. And I mentioned that Syndicate was one of my favorites. And I kept thinking about it, and as I was writing this, my script for this segment, Syndicate might actually be my favorite Assassin's Creed.
Really?
Yeah. I really think it's my number one. I'm still mulling it over.
Number one,
right? It's not the first one I played. I've played them all in release order. I think you've asked me that before. Because the first one's always your favorite. I'm pretty sure Syndicate's my favorite. I feel like it perfected every gameplay mechanic that they, tried to work on over the past few iterations, starting with 3. They finally nailed it with Syndicate. Combat, exploration were a blast because they got those systems down. And here's where I think maybe my bias comes in. Because I love Victorian England stuff. I love that, period of time. And I also really like the Industrial Revolution era kind of stuff. So
yeah.
I think the setting just nailed it for me. Between all the, fine-tuned gameplay and the setting, it just really locked me in.
Okay. And then the DLC, you like the Ripper DLC?
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute, actually.
Okay.
But one of the other things that was brought up in Discord, people had a complaint with Assassin's Creed 3. Some people were like, Connor's awful. And we've talked about that a couple times, actually, on VSS alone. But one of the big complaints was people were saying, I didn't mind Connor, but American Revolution didn't have a lot of stuff to climb. There were no huge buildings in colonial America. And I hadn't really thought of it like that, but that is indeed a fair criticism in a game based on, climbing giant buildings. Industrial Revolution, Victorian England, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, tons of big buildings to climb. Plus you had a grappling hook, and I loved it. I loved it. I really think it's my favorite game. Plus, can you name a game with a grappling hook that wasn't amazing? Because I don't think I can. I also didn't try very hard.
I didn't like that Bionic Commando remake, but meh.
And there's also Adam's Venture, which, but whatever. Enlighten me, Discord. What are some games with grappling hooks that you enjoy, right? So, anyway, I mentioned a lot of people, they said, like, I liked Assassin's Creed 3, but I hated Connor. Or, people loved Altair, but they didn't like the gameplay loop of the first Assassin's Creed. And that's fair, but I would just like to throw out there, in addition to loving Syndicate's setting and gameplay, that I also really liked Jacob and Evie Fry. I feel like they played off of each other really well. Jacob was kind of the, shoot first, shoot later, shoot again, shoot some more, and then when everyone's dead, try asking some questions kind of person. And then Evie, what?
He doesn't use the block button either.
No, he does not. And then Evie was all like, well, let's be subtle and clever and not shoot all of our witnesses, So they had like a cool juxtaposition dynamic going through the game, and I thought it worked quite well. And I've decided that if you take them together, so the Fry twins as one protagonist, they are in second place, just behind my boy Edward Kenway. He's still my number one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also, Evie has freckles, and I've mentioned a few times that I find girls with freckles really attractive, even if they're just pixel freckles. And anyway, Evie was my Xbox wallpaper for quite some time. So there's that, too. But anyway, Jack the Ripper DLC, the whole point of this. I told you it was like a medium sidebar. So Jack the Ripper DLC, I keep raving about this game, but this is probably my favorite Assassin's Creed DLC as well. What did you think of it?
It was enjoyable. I liked the mechanic of the
fear mechanic.
The fear mechanic. I was trying to think of what you would call it, but yeah. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that's I loved it. It stayed true to the narrative of Assassin's Creed, the gameplay, but it had that really cool twist. Instead of being that stealthy assassin, you just kind of got to be a butcher. And it was a nice twist, but it kept the game similar but different. I don't know. You'd sort of have to play it to get what I'm talking about.
No, it's good. It's good DLC.
Yeah. Anyway, tons of fun. And I honestly didn't mind going for the 100%. A lot of the 100% sync achievements, they're tedious. I mess up in a mission and, I don't want to do it, the 40th time. Ugh. But they're usually a chore for me. I really like this one. I didn't mind it at all. So I'm going to stop, raving about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, its protagonist, its DLC. But they all rank among my favorites in the series. So it seems fitting that my final achievement earned in the game, which is worth 90 points, earns a spot among my most memorable. And it's also the last achievement I got in a, old school Assassin's Creed game before they switched up to the whole, action RPG kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I enjoy it for what it is. It's a different kind of game, but I don't mind it.
It is. I like the old school But you mentioned Assassin's Creed 3, and I believe it's been a while since I've played them, obviously. I think probably about 850,000 gamer scores probably transpired since then. But I would think it was Assassin's Creed 3 that about drove me crazy with the 100% sync, because there's this one mission that had the little thing that you had to do during it where you were chasing some dude down the street, and you had to jump off, like propel yourself off a building and tackle him. It was like a wall tackle. And that little thing just about drove me crazy. I don't know what it was. So maybe someone out there knows what I'm talking about, but you had to leap off a wall and then tackle some guy that was running away from you. I probably did that. Oh my gosh, it was the worst one of those little things I've ever had to do to get the 100% sync. It was the last thing in the game. I couldn't get it. I skipped it. Thought, well, maybe I'll come back, be better at the mechanics. And then I never got better at that. So I kept jumping off, killing him. I kept missing. I kept
tackling other people.
Tackling other people.
That's
missing
as soon
the
as
wall.
you said that, I think I know which one you're talking about, because that was a pain in the butt.
I believe it was Assassin's Creed 3.
I think
the buildings were short. The buildings were short. It was kind of like a village type, smaller village. I don't know. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
awful.
I
do. It's awful. So, yeah. But that was my little sidebar, Assassin's Creed memories of 100%ing. But all right, well, let's wrap this thing up. I have number one. For my number one, I have a Ratalaika montage.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. You think we're going to go a whole episode without some rats? Oh, come on, man. No. So, confession time. I really do enjoy the rats. I really do. You and I, we were talking about this, and we were talking about, G tests and 1 million gamer score, slowing down and all this. Are you going to actually pick up some, these games that are AAA titles and all of this and that? And I'm like, no, actually, I really don't. I really do honestly enjoy playing Ratalaika games. And I figured out it was because they remind me of games when I was growing up. It reminds me of old NES games or old SNES games if you're lucky. And so I forget what you said. Which games was it that you enjoyed that you kind of grew up playing?
My first generation was N64 and PlayStation 1. But
Yeah.
I like those old school RPGs, which Rat hasn't done yet.
Yeah, it'll come in time, right? So, but for me, I really do enjoy them because it reminds me it's kind of nostalgic for me. So now, don't get me wrong, an added bonus is the gamer score, so it's kind of like double dipping here. Like I get gamer score and I get the nice nostalgic feel of what it would have been like to play some of these games growing up and getting gamer score back then.
Well, here's the real challenge. Would you play these games, continue them after you get your 1,000?
No. No, come on, man. No, because there's another one right behind it. So yeah, so
you could say that it's like Rat behind it if you have some kind of accent.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, carry on, my wayward son.
Yeah, very good. So I put together a little list of my top 5 rats, and so these achievements are in these games, and some of them I had to kind of stretch just so I could include the game. So you'll get the hang of it. And so FYI, there are 0 90 pointers on Shadow of the Loot Box. So don't come at me thinking I forgot my boy
true
Loot.
Shame. That deserves a spot in this list.
It does. So instead, I have number 5, Legendary Hero. That is for completing the game of Devious Dungeon 2. Now, I chose that one because that implies you played the whole game, and I really enjoyed Devious Dungeon 2, as well as Devious Dungeon 1, which has 0 90 pointers as well. Now, so I had to give Devious Dungeon a shout-out because it's actually a really enjoyable game. It's the rat that has the highest ranking on TA, if you didn't know that.
I thought that was one more dungeon.
No, that's like the more challenging one. That's the one with the most TA, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And... but obviously I wasn't the only person that liked this series because they made a sequel. So there you go. It's one of those few ones that has a sequel, and I'm sure that another one will be mentioned shortly.
It's also one of the few rats that I have not played, not counting the ones that have come out post-retirement.
Oh, yeah, they're fun little games. I mean, it's kind of a cool little, it's NES-ish I don't know, rogue RPG. I don't know what it's kind of a unique little gameplay. But the second one's just like the first one, which I'm sure doesn't surprise you. And yeah, it's really cool. So I like that series. So my number 4 is Conqueror of the Desert for completing 15 levels, and that comes from Foxyland 2.
Ooh, number 2.
So yeah. So by conquering the desert, that allows you to get the Desert Agile Beast, which is worth 30 gamer score, which is also actually the penultimate Chivo for this game. So you get that one, and then you right after you complete 15 levels, and then you complete 20 levels, and then you're done with the game. So some could argue that the Desert Agile Beast is the main boss of the game. So there you go. And my number 3, Genesis 316. You get that for finding the pregnancy test.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, and that comes from Sagebrush.
Yep.
Yes, and apparently the pregnancy test that you do find is the only evidence that Brer Elroy was there. And Brer Elroy has a trailer
That's right.
on location at the compound. And so anytime I get a shout-out from a Ratalaika game, you know it's going to be on my list. So thank you once again, Ratalaika, for my shout out and including me as one of the cult leaders in Sagebrush. And I'm so sorry that I impregnated that girl.
Does Kelly know about that?
Yeah, what happens to Sagebrush
stays in Sagebrush.
Right. And that leads me to number 2. So what could be better than being shouted out in Ratalaika? Well, number 2 is Sorry, Wombat. And that is for getting a social justice warrior to beat up a mentally disabled animal. So if you don't smile at that sentence, then you're probably not much
Probably
like
don't
me.
play the game. I know what game it is. I won't steal your thunder.
Yes, it is from Scheming Through the Zombie Apocalypse, the beginning. I really enjoyed this game. I laughed so much at this game because it's so not politically correct, and I am not a politically correct kind of a person. And you have basically an animal that is mentally disabled, and you take advantage of this poor thing, and it's actually really funny. And there's these social justice warriors, and it's a very nice commentary on things on life. It's a very good game. I really enjoyed that part of the game. So that leads me to the number one.
Number one.
What could possibly be the number one? Well, 1,000 total kills. You get that for killing 1,000 wolves, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You know who the Wolf Slayer is. That's my boy Iron Snout, in case you need him. In case you need him, when Iron Snout falls in water, Iron Snout doesn't get wet. Water gets Iron Snout. That's right. Iron Snout, we love you, buddy. There's nothing else I can really say about this game. If you don't have it on your tag by now, you're just failing in life. And we're just waiting on Iron Snout 2. I'm just telling you, we're waiting. I got $5, right here. I'm ready. Let's do it. And Iron Snout 3, 4, I mean, we can make a whole series about this. I'm looking for, spin-off games for the little wolves with their forbidden love. Maybe they go find love somewhere else.
Oh,
that's not so forbidden.
I would play that.
Exactly. And so, Iron Snout, obviously, the number one of the number one.
Nice. I hear that Iron Snout got coronavirus, and now coronavirus has been in quarantine for 3 weeks.
Well, that sounds like a long time. Not that Iron Snout needs a watch. He just decides what time it is.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for recording with me. How do we end these things again?
I'm honestly surprised that all three of yours weren't rats. You are bucking the trend here, mi amigo.
I had two. Well, if you look at it statistically, yeah, that's it. If you look at it that way, it is 2 that are not rats and 5 that are.
Well, right. Just take the compliment.
Thank you.
But anyway, I believe you asked how we end these things, and
do you have anything to plug?
Well, no, but we end these things with top 3 textbooks on my kitchen table / home office desk. Number 3, Technical Writing for Success, 4th edition. Number 2, The Art of Public Speaking, 12th edition. And number 1, Holt McDougall, American Literature, Common Core Edition, 3rd edition.
Man, that's some pressure now, man. If only I had the top 3 things that you might find in a shadow of a loot box. Number 3, something you would have never purchased for yourself. Number 2, loot box packaging. And number 1, darkness. I mean, it's in a shadow, right?
Ooh. Kelsey bought a real-life loot box on eBay once. It was the deluxe box, and she paid either $25 or $30 for it. And it came with like some rhinestone rocks, a phone cover for like an iPhone 2, like a trashy Viking romance novel, and like a pair of earrings that looked really grungy.
So the best purchase she ever made, huh?
Yeah, totally not a complete waste of $25 or $30.
Oh wow!
But anyway,
all right.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and our usual. Let the countdown to the next episode begin now, or something like that.
Hello, I'm Waka, and I'm amazed by the crazy scoring going on in G-Tasked. You need more than 5,000 true achievement difference to survive each week on the solo side, which is a crazy amount of score. It is more score in a week than most score in months. And you have to score it every week for many more periods before this is over to stay in the competition. In desperation, I looked into my backlog and pulled out Mr. Shifty. A game TA classifies as a shoot 'em up, which I thought strange as Mr. Shifty himself don't use guns, but looking at TA's genre description, it actually fits. According to TA, shoot 'em ups put the player in control of an avatar to be guided through an environment while battling large number of weak enemies and dodging their fire. Assigning a genre is not easy, as Mr. Shifty plays like a top-down hack-and-slash action with very aggressive stealth elements. You're not exactly being sneaky, but you have to confuse the crap out of your enemies using your shifting skills, which allows you to teleport short distances. While your opponents are heavily armed, Mr. Shifty relies on his fists, punching his way through the levels filled with pistols, assault rifles and rocket launchers. Thankfully, your enemies are not very bothered by collateral damage and frequently shoot each other as you shift between them. There is an achievement for having enemies kill each other 20 times, which will likely be among your first achievements. Most bad guys can take multiple punches, but Mr. Shifty goes down as soon as he's hit by anything, making the no-death run incredibly difficult. Mr. Shifty has 1000 game score worth 3800 TA with 2200 TA tied to a single achievement, Shift Master, which requires you to complete every level without dying. This is by far the most difficult achievement on the list, with only 14 out of more than 1600 gamers on TA having earned it. The rest of the list is very straightforward, and you'll earn most of them playing through the game's 18 levels. There are no collectibles or missable achievements, and there is a level select clearly marking which levels you've completed with 0 deaths. Your first playthrough should earn you most of the other achievements and around 800 true achievement difference in around 5 hours, but possibly way quicker than that. There is a speedrun achievement which tasks you with completing the game in 1 hour and 19 minutes, but it is fortunately glitched and will unlock if you beat that time on every single level, which shouldn't be a problem at all. Of the 196 players that has finished all levels on TA, only a single person has not unlocked the speedrun achievement. Considering your limited moveset, Mr. Shifty is surprisingly varied, and I very much enjoyed it, even if it can get infuriatingly difficult at times. The frequent checkpoints and short load times makes dying not a big deal unless you are trying to complete the levels without dying. If you're going for the no death achievement, be aware that the final 3 levels are up to 15 minutes long and very, very difficult, and the final boss is slightly luck-based. Spending 10 minutes getting to the boss only to have him kill you, mostly due to bad luck, is no fun. That experience highlights how well designed the rest of the game is. While there are traps which will likely kill you the first time you encounter them, I never felt dying was the game's fault, besides at the final boss. The cel-shaded graphics might not be the prettiest, but they are very readable and makes it easy to tell what is going on screen. When the screen gets crowded with bad guys, the performance takes a huge hit on the original Xbox One, while it performs significantly better on the X. While not as pleasant, it might be easier to play it on an original Xbox One, as the slowdown makes the action easier to survive. In the end, I do recommend Mr. Shifty, and if you're good enough, Shift Master can be preloaded for 2000 true achievement difference. I do not recommend playing it under time pressure, as it can be very difficult. Have a nice day, everyone!